If you're here or you're watching the replay, close your eyes. You know it's adjustment time. Okay. We are using the new tripod, so hopefully we are in a good position. Hi Ellen, welcome back. Yep, times have changed. Everything's a little different now. It's almost 11. Oh, well, I guess that's something that, I guess you could see at least, right? You can see what I'm doing. That's interesting. I can see more in my phone than I can here. All right, close your eyes. Excuse me. There we go. Thanks, Ellen. Yeah, I have some little pieces today that I'm going to sew while we're waiting for everyone to show up because I didn't want to do too much on this project without everybody here. And I wanted to move you're on your desktop so you can see a lot. Interesting. I just want to make sure I don't put like my chin or my nose or my ear in. It's either you put your whole head in or you put nothing. So this is what I can see on my laptop. Let me show you, since it's just like a few of us here. So that's what I can see. If you can see more, that's cool. I mean, I'm going to guess you can only see what my phone shows. I don't know. But I had these leftovers from, I'm working on some trees with my patrons. So this is from the trees, Ellen, that when I cut them off for you guys for Sunday's video, which is tomorrow. I thought today was Sunday. I thought today was live stream day and Sunday. Oh, but it's just larger. Oh, okay. Good. So I want to turn these into quarter square triangles to match the other ones that I did. And I thought while we're waiting for 11 o'clock, and I'm glad I started early because, of course, I put a new needle in, I cleaned my machine, and I oiled it, and I did all the fun stuff. And I quilted the back of our zipper pouch. And then I went to start sewing on this and everything got mad at me. So that's why you have to have that extra time. Okay, you have no sound. Ellen can hear me, so maybe it's on your end. You might need to bump it up a little bit. I have my microphone right here too. So hopefully everyone can see me. I remembered to put it on. Sorry about the cords and everything, but that's the power to my sewing machine. Oh my goodness, I'm having a hot flash here. Isn't it nice? I am really struggling with the weather. I talk about it too much, but I can't figure out if I'm hot or cold, and I do it all. I don't know. Okay, can you hear me yet? Everyone else, does anyone else want to chime in? Can you hear me? Oh, I have my mouse underneath the table here, so that's why I put my hand underneath the table. I know if it was me, I'd be kind of curious. What's that crazy person doing? Good morning, Jackie. Jackie, can you hear me? Jackie, can you hear me now? Audio's good. Okay. Sorry, Kate. I think it's you. Thank you, Linda. Okay. So we're doing a very close-up today, just for everyone that's kind of hanging out. We're going to give it a few minutes before we start on the project. Plus, I don't normally have my sewing machine over here, as you guys might know. So I need to figure out where I need to have it. I have the foot pedal, and it has underneath the base, you can wind up the cord. I actually had to unwind the cord to sit here. because when you're at the end of the table, you can just put it around the leg. It was you. Okay, excellent, Kay. I'm glad you're back. Hi, Janie. Hi, Lorraine. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your help and for you showing up. I have the new tripod on. I got it so that I can put my phone in the vertical and put it close to the sewing machine so you can see me sew, but so that I can put it on Instagram. But it's got a gooseneck, and when I put my phone in the vertical, sometimes my phone is too heavy, and if I don't prop it up against the table, it falls down. So if any time during this live stream it falls down, just let me know. Just yell in the comments and eventually I'll catch on. But so far it seems to be okay. I don't have it up very tall, so maybe it won't be too top heavy. I picked out all of the scraps for our little Christmas project. And as I was getting ready, I'm like, oh, I could do this, or oh, I could do that. I'm like, no, no, no. We're going to keep it nice and simple today. Just have a little fun sewing. I've been thinking of different things we can do during December versus the whole tutorial specifically thing. And I thought of a few different ideas that we might be able to do. I need to figure out how to go live again on Patreon, because I looked it up, and if you do certain things, the live streams on YouTube affect the algorithm. So if I started doing pottery or something, or jewelry making, it would confuse YouTube. And I'm trying to get them back on track to knowing that I'm a scrappy fabric person. Hi, to Steel Lover. Welcome, welcome. So I don't want to confuse them during the holiday season when we do different types of projects, because I have little craft kits to work on. So I'd like to do that just for a fun hangout and chat and something a little bit different. Excuse me. Apparently it's winter allergy season. No, I'm on a commercial. Jackie, I don't know what I am. I can't tell. Am I hot? Am I cold? And what is it? I've bought some, excuse me, my goodness. I've bought some more winter clothes, because in Florida I only had I had 2 pairs of jeans, one for wearing around the house, like getting dirty in the yard and stuff, and one for going out in public. And that's all I needed. I had the same pair of sweatpants. I think I had the same pair of sweatpants for like 15 years. I didn't need it very much. So here I have like winter, oh, I don't know why I sat down. I have winter jammies. I've got some long sleeve shirts, some pullovers. It's gonna sound weird, but I'm gonna put my hand here so you guys know I'm here. It's gonna sound weird, but I'm struggling. Ooh, you ever look down the little hole where the thread goes on your sewing machine? I can see dust. Sidetrack. The sun doesn't come in this house. The backyard faces the north, and we have a 2-story house on the left and the right of us. And the way the sun comes in this neighborhood, the house blocks it as it's rising, and it blocks it as it sets. And I have a cement roof porch type thing, back patio area. The sun never makes it into my room. And that's great during the summer, so my room doesn't get hot, where the boys have bedrooms over by the garage area, and the way the sun hits, their rooms warm up. So it's not good for them. But also in the winter, it doesn't warm up. It's almost 71 degrees in here. My room tends to be 3 degrees colder than the rest of the house. So I've been snuggling up in bed at night, but it's really hard to get out of bed in the morning because the room is so cold. Hi, Linda. Oh, wow. Wow, that's warm. Our house is at 76. I had my house in Florida at somewhere between 78 and 79, mostly on 79, just so I could save that little bit of money and stuff. I'm just working on some scraps right now until we have everyone in. I think we'll probably have as many people as we're going to get right now. So if you don't mind, I'll just iron these and ramble for a minute. So I start out the day, I have to check the weather every day because it does get down into the 30s and 40s. but then it can get up into the low 80s or in the high 70s. So I check and I decide how many layers. Oh, my patrons are going to roll their eyes at me. I deleted out some of it, but I was just rambling about the weather. I think I went through 3 outfit changes during one video recording this week because I was hot and I was cold and I was cold and I got warmer. So as the day goes on, I just start changing my top layer. I've been wearing t-shirts and shorts, and then I will have like a long sleeve shirt, and then I'll put a hoodie on, and then I go to a flannel shirt, and then I just go to a t-shirt. I'm such a toddler. All right, one more, and then we're done. I know you guys don't have much to look at here today. It's not all that interesting. I put my ironing board over there because I thought, where am I going to put these? I'll put those there. I thought what we're doing today is better to be seen in the sewing position. Hi, Jody. Winter temp in the house. Yes, the house itself is around 72. It got down a little bit. I turned the heat on one morning because my son Justin goes out for a walk at like 5 in the morning when it's 35 or 45 degrees, and he walks a few miles every morning. So one day I had popped the heat on just to take the chill out so that when both of us showered, it would be pretty nice for him, you know. And of course, if I benefited from it, that was not a problem, right? It was for him. But we haven't had to turn the heat on. We turned it on back in February when we first moved here, but only in the morning just to take the chill out. I've been looking at different, Jody said electric fireplaces. I thought they were something different, but they're just, electric fireplace is a space heater with the fake flame, so I just don't know. They seem so dangerous to me. I'm not sure. Well, Jody, we did have the time change on the 2nd. You know that thing that messed up everybody's day? I didn't even have the time change, and I feel so confused. This one's usually the good one for me. I usually do pretty good on this one, but I'm just struggling. Excuse me. Oh, my goodness. So sorry. Hold on a second. All right. I love these Henley tops with the little buttons down the front, and then I can put the mic right on it. It's really nice. So we're going to go ahead and work on, okay, I have my scraps. I pulled out different Christmas scraps. If you've been here for a while, you know I prefer things with straight edges, so I'm not going to be doing any crumb things like that. I do have some thin bits that I don't know if I'll use them in this project, but I pulled out a variety of things. I noticed I have a lot of red. I don't know. I didn't realize I had so much red Christmas stuff. I mean, it is the color of Christmas, right? So I think I'm going to use a red thread, which I'm glad I said that out loud because I need to change my thread. So have you changed the needle on your sewing machine lately? I changed mine because of those hot pad videos and some other projects that I've been working on. I also cleaned my sewing machine because I like to clean it if I sew at least every week, if not more often, depending on how much I sew. Sometimes I'll clean my machine every day if I'm working on like 12 zipper pouches or something. All right, so I'm going to use red thread in the top and the bobbin. Christmas time, my trash bin of thread is always so colorful. Jody, I am so confused. I am in Mountain Time, and Utah, when I ask Google what time it is in Utah, because I watched this one blog or vlog that comes on YouTube at 11 a.m., they haven't mentioned anything about changing the time. No one else has talked about it online, but all of a sudden now it's on at 12 o'clock instead of 11 o'clock. So I didn't think we're in Mountain Time. Our time should be the same as theirs. I don't know. I feel so lost. The not changing the clocks is great as long as you're only living your own life, but when you're interacting with other people online or something, it gets so confusing. No, Jody, you don't need any more ideas. You don't need any more. I'm going out on Monday. I'm going to spend Sunday's usually my day off, but I'm going to take Monday off instead, and I'm going to go out. I need to get a haircut. I need to take care of the internet. So I'm going to do all of that, and I'm going to stop in a couple of stores where I don't need anything either, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to come home with fabric because... Well, I'm glad you checked your email too. That's what it's there for. Do the alerts on, because I put the video up yesterday, so you can click on notify me on YouTube, and you also have the email if you're subscribed to that. So that should be helpful to remind everyone, not just me, you know, but other things too. So I need to be careful with the zipper pouch that, unless I want it to be red, I need to be careful because otherwise it's going to be red. So this is my back. I have 100% cotton batting on it. This has all the lights. So what I did is I just took some black thread and I freeformed. I have just a regular sewing machine foot. And if you gradually move it like this, it's okay. So I went in between. I was going to take white and sew right on the line. But then I thought it might be a little weird. So I just took black and I went in between the lines and I made sure when they were close that I didn't sew over any of the lights. And I think I did pretty good. This is a Joann's fabric from last year, and they also have a white background one. So I thought that would be fun for the back. I haven't chosen a zipper yet. I have my zipper bin next to me. We should be able to hopefully, you know, knock on wood that we start this beginning to end and have a zipper pouch when we're done. Anyone can call dibs on this at any time, but also if you would like me to make one for you, I can go ahead and make another one. They take longer during a live stream, but they don't take as long when you're doing it on your own. Finish your projects retreat. That's fun. Peer pressure. It's always good. Except you start looking at other people's projects and you get more ideas. And then you start thinking, oh, you know, what I was going to think is you start talking to everyone and you start doing that instead of working on your project. So I think, no, I didn't do it. So I'm going to separate these out by color. Just so some of these won't get used. They'll probably get turned into fabric postcards or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll make a giant scrappy Christmas quilt just to use up some of the scraps. I thought I sorted these by color, but I guess I didn't. I was cutting out some squares. Yeah, I'm going to say this light blue, it's not aqua, but they're both light in color, so I'm going to put that there. I just went through my big scrap bin for Christmas and pulled out stuff. I found this. Nope, that's not the one I want to show you. Someone sent me some Santa scraps. This time Santa's pulling a sleigh, but there's one where Santa is, hi Cheryl, hi Sue. Santa is like playing golf and stuff. It's really cute. All right, Sue, we'll catch you on the replay. I hope everything goes well with Mama. Oh. Oh, yeah, you need someone, and we all need someone to keep us focused, or we're that person that focuses everyone, not me. I can usually stay on track if, you know, like I'm just left alone and people don't pester me and, you know, I just focus on it and stuff. I can focus if I need to. Yeah, see how much red this is? That's a lot of red. I have a favorite fabric in here that you probably saw it on the picture maybe. It's Santa Claus. So I want to put him in the center. Lots of peppermint candy. Okay, here's the one. So Santa is fishing. And I think he's playing golf or something, or maybe it's all fishing, but I thought that was really kind of cool. Oh yeah, you can see him fishing. So there's that. Gotta have a lot of Santas, of course. So here is my Santa, and I thought we'd start with him in the center just because it's Christmas, you know. Better days. Hello from Phoenix. Yeah. Yeah, but I know it's always Mountain Standard Time, but it changes, right? Yeah, we change, we match the Pacific. But see, Shouldn't, it's got to be that YouTube channel then, right? Because shouldn't Utah, because they're mountain time and we're mountain time, so shouldn't it all be the same? You know, shouldn't we fall into the same time zone as them? Maybe they changed it and I just didn't hear it or something. It's always possible. Sometimes I put things on, but I don't listen to them. I'm guilty. I don't think black is going to work, but I just had a scrap, so I threw it in there. So we have some squares, and just, I didn't want to have to go searching through the bins, so I just grabbed anything that was smallish. Oh no, Sue. It's unfortunately gotten to that time, hasn't it? Time for those hard talks that nobody wants to have. So I had a lot of black, and I thought if I wanted to put the reindeer in, because these are fun, I do have the black on the back, so I brought in some black just in case I made that decision or we made that decision, but I don't know. Oh, and I found this long bit of scrap. I'm pretty sure we're not going to use that. I wanted to keep it mostly brightish. Like this snowman, I love that fabric, so I kind of want to put that in there. I have some old fabric from Walmart from, I think the niece that Rob and I bought some of this fabric for graduated from high school at this point. She might be out of college or married or whatever. It's been a bit. So I'm going to put the black in here. I don't think we're going to want that. Okay, so let's just put this next to me. Probably not the darker greens. See, that's the thing a lot of times with the Christmas fabrics. There's so many shades of blue, you know, so many hues. I don't know all the proper words, but they're like light and dark and dark and light everywhere. Just cover up my laptop. Probably shouldn't get threads all over. It's probably not nice, but it's what we're gonna do today. And like this cardinal fabric is fun with the different shades of the grays and the blues or whatever from the birch trees, but it has to go up and down. It's 10 a.m. in Pacific time, though. That's why you were confused. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you can make it. Vegas is 1 hour behind us. Yeah, I'm just, when other people do things that I don't expect or I don't know about, it just throws me off. Like, I can live my life, you know, I'm okay. Ooh, that is pretty big, though. All right, I don't think Santa's gonna go here. He fills it up. I mean, I could, let me see what it looks like when I do this. If you start out with a huge piece, it takes up a lot of your bag. So that's not too bad though, right? Because I'm not going to box the bottoms. So Santa's pretty big. We do, that's why I thought we match Utah right now. So it's got to be something that channel did. And I must have missed when they said, I must have blinked or fell asleep while sewing or something. Because there's like kids and friends and family are all over the place, and I am so lost. I think my kids are fine. All right, so I think I'm going to go over here where my pressing board and my cutting mat is. I'm going to cut Santa down. I'm going to make him smaller so I can stick with what I wanted. Trim him down just a smidge. I'm going to need 1/4 of an inch seam around him, so I need to make sure I leave enough space for that. I don't want to cut anything off, so using a rotary cutter is really good. I was trying to explain how to rotary cut a large stack of fabric to someone who's not a quilter and stuff. A lot of people just use, oh, I don't have a scrap bin. A lot of people just use paper templates. Like if they're going to cut out a 9x9 square, they print out a piece of paper that's 9x9 from the pattern, and they use that. So using a rotary cutter and stuff kind of confuses some people. In the spring, we are the same at, yeah. It is crazy. I get lost. So for this one, I think I'm going to leave Santa normal, but my thought with the red thread or the white thread, I don't know. Maybe I should switch back to white, but I want to do the Quilt As You Go where you put like a ton of lines in it. I don't know. What color do you think? We're going to be using the, I have blue. I don't want to quilt Santa at all. So I'm going to have greens and reds and light blues. Maybe the pink. Do you think white, if I do like 6 lines of quilting on this red, do you think white's going to be okay? I think it might be. I feel like my brain is not awake, it's tired. I think everything just confuses me. You have one of them days where everything is just confusing. I'm going to go ahead and just switch to white. A light gray. I wish there was a, I don't know if I have a bobbin for, I don't have it bobbined, but a cream, I don't even have the thread over here. I have that cream from Missouri Star. It wouldn't be so bright as shiny, but I'll just go ahead and switch to white. I've been thinking about getting a serger too, Cheryl, so if anyone wants to jump in, I was thinking, especially for like pillows, when I make the pillow covers, to do the edges of some quilts if I want to. But it's only for me, it would have to be a really good price because where's the white thread? I wouldn't be serging a lot. You've never had to change your clock. Wow. Yeah, you have to figure it out. Yeah, you grew up with it, so it's easy. You just kind of get used to it. It's no difference. Yeah, it gets dark. In the springtime, it was so... We first moved here, I'm like, the sun is up before me. What is going on? I just tangled up my thread. That was fun. So it was like crazy. I'm used to waking up. When you get up at 5 a.m. or 5:30, you're used to being up before the sun. So I was like, whoa, there's sunlight coming in my window. We're coming up on almost a year of being here. I think most of the adjustments are gone. I've seen many people use a serger to make a quilt. Okay, so I want this at the 1/4 inch, but I'm going to put it at a 2.4 because I'm going to put so much quilting in it. I think you have to figure out, like if someone gave me a serger, oh yeah, no problem. I would set it up and I would use it and not worry about it. If I got a serger from Facebook Marketplace, okay, the price is good, great. I tried to get one. Of course, when things go for like $20 or something on Marketplace, people tend to, grab them up real quick. If I'm paying $300-400 for one, then I don't think I really need to have one. Hi, Tiny Talkie Tina. We are going to be making a Quilt As You Go scrappy zipper pouch, and we're going to be using some of my Christmas scraps. I already have the back of the pouch done, and I've chosen my lining too that I haven't shown anyone. I have this snowflake lining with snowflake fabric with these lines on it. I haven't used it yet, so I thought I'd just go ahead and use it. Oh, we can see really close now. I thought I'd use this for the lining. Thought that would be fun. I just got to remember to put I have my tags. Where are my tags? I have to remember to put a label in. So I just have a little one to put in today, not a big one. So that's what we're going to do, start to finish. I've done various videos on the Quilt As You Go process in this discussion because there are Quilt As You Go quilt blocks, but we're going to do this. And since we have blue, so now I'm going to put something else here. I think I have this ho 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 fabric. If I use it, I have to make sure I put it in the right spot so it goes in the proper direction. Oh, this white, it's cotton batting. Sorry, I'm quilting right on Save Santa. You think Save Santa for a larger project? You think I should pull him out? Hey, if one person tells me, I'll listen. I don't care. Because I'm a little like, I feel like I want to put more scraps on here than just Santa, right? So I have cookies. I have gnomes. I have puppy dogs. What else do I have? I could put a piece of this in the center. I'm making it up as I go. So this was a piece of scrap batting that was long this way. It was already this wide. So right now, zipper pouches can be any size you want. That's the fun of a zipper pouch. This one today, the batting itself measures, oh look, nice, 12.5 by 8. I usually make my zipper pouches about 9.5 by 6.5, but I thought we could use a little bit of a bigger one today. And my scraps are anywhere from 1.5 inches wide to whatever I want. They're scraps. Oh, commercials. I think YouTube really likes, I haven't watched much YouTube this morning, so they give me more commercials. Stop giving me a commercial. Okay. Overlocker, is it, you see, that's the difference. I don't know the difference between an overlocker and a serger. They both seem like my sewing machine can overlock, but it would be nice to have one setup that just goes fast and trims everything. So I like that idea. Let's be realistic, it's cheaper. Nothing's cheap, but it's less expensive to buy clothes than to make your own, and I'm really not going to. Someone gave you a used serger a number of years ago. Used it a lot when I was making masks. I use it when I sew with knits. Yeah, for hems and the finished seams. Mostly it collects dust. Yeah, I totally get it. I just think I'd like to make more pillow covers, the quilted pillow covers, and they just seem like they would be better to have to be able to serge around it. I'm going to be quilting my scraps. I'm going to sew my scraps right to the batting. If you don't have batting, you can just sew your scraps together, or yes, you can put a piece of white fabric underneath. Overlocker is, but I think there's an overlocker. When you're looking online, you can get an overlocker and a serger. I don't know if there's like a difference, like an overlocker doesn't cut and a serger does, or the number of threads or the type of stitch, but there's two specific different terms. Flannel works good for batting. You can put a piece of flannel underneath there. An old t-shirt could be a little bit stretchy, but you could do it. I just want to see if I can get a spot that's not too big with my birds without cutting them off, and I don't think that's going to happen. Sometimes things are just troublesome. Can we go crazy and put the reindeer in the center? That's going to make it very, you know what? I think I'm going to go and I'm going to make it so that we're a little crooked. You guys know I like things a little wonky. So if I take this piece of fabric and I make it just a little crooked, then we can go crazy and stitch around it. Hold on. I bought a side cutter presser foot. Works great. But loosen my needle. I have to stop and check my... Oh, that's not fun. I had one when I was making kids' clothing. Yeah. The green Santa. We have this one. And we have this one. And we have this one. We also have fun gnomes. Gnomes are really popular. I think maybe we'll put the gnome in the center. Oh, are they, Jackie? Then why do they sell them as different things? You know, why do they make life so difficult for us? I've already made a mess of my fabric. I also have the snowman, but I can just do one snowman. Maybe that's what we should do. Let's see what he looks like. He's smaller, and his edges are a bit off. What do you think? Oh, I need a drink. We haven't even gotten that far into the... We haven't sewn a darn thing yet. Vote for the snowman? Okay, we'll do the snowman. I love this fabric. This is really cute. I think it's a Joann's. Joann's or Hobby Lobby, one or the other. I might have bought it. Oh, I think this is last year's because it's not in my brand new this year's pile on my shelves. All right, so if I put the snowman so that he's standing up straight, that'll give me that wonky bit that I'm looking for. Okay, let me separate my blues again. Go over there, go over there. So even though I have some wide bits, like this is leftover jelly rolls from the hot pads, I can just use it this way. So for like this section here, if I want to put, I think I want to put the stocking next to him. I can see how it'll fit. This one will just happen to fit just that way, or I could put it that way. And I can... Yeah, just a smidge smaller. I don't want to get into the fussy cutting too much of the little bits. I like to fussy cut the center, but I don't want to fussy cut too much of the little bits because then I'm on until we are done. For a project like this, we'll usually stay on for about 2 hours, give or take, till we're actually done. And then it stays on my channel for the replay, so that if anyone wants to come back and watch it, or for those that have missed the live stream. Sometimes my thread cutter doesn't like to cut my bobbin, and other times it does. So I can choose where I go. I have a little bit of a stocking there. I don't want to say, okay, I need to get that whole stocking in there. So we'll go like this. I haven't seen Giovanna yet, so Green Santa, sorry, Linda. We put the snow guy in the middle. Giovanna's not here to yell at me, so I'm okay. See, so that's pretty good. And then I can just do, I can build out and go round and round like log cabin. So now, oh, I wanted to quilt. So I don't want to quilt through the snowman, but I do want to add some quilting. I want this to be one of those heavily quilted ones. So I'm going to quilt there about, it's just top stitching, so it's less than 1/4 inch. And then I tend to just leave my needle in the center and just guess when I do the 1/4 inch so that I can kind of guess here, and I just keep working my way around. Thanks. Yeah, the snowman I think is pretty good. Whether it's 1/4 inch quilting or not, I'm not too particular because everything is a mess. That time I didn't get all the way to the end of the fabric. I bought a jelly roll to make an orange slice rug, a couple of pot holders with the matching jelly roll straps. A great idea. That sounds like fun. I would love to make a I have all the supplies now to make jelly roll rugs. I'm going to start by making coasters and stuff, but I would love to have a braided rug or jelly roll rug in my room and stuff, but my cats, you know, they're like having toddlers around. Regular cheap sir, yeah, it's one of those things, you get what you pay for, right? then when I think about it, I go through, I had to cut my thumbnail this morning because I broke it and now I can't grab anything. I don't know how people function without nails. All right, so again, you can choose wherever you want. Can y'all see? Yeah, you can see those lines. So I just went ahead and I put my quilting lines wherever. A couple of them I was talking and didn't get them in the right spot. So now I can bring in, I really shouldn't have this over here like this. This is such a mess. I'm trying to respect, because I've got a Mac laptop, so I'm trying to respect it and not get fuzz all over it. So having all the fabric there is probably not the best idea. So I want to have that, where's that candy cane? I had a skinny candy cane. Why do I organize anything? So I have this skinny candy cane that I can put in either spot. So I want to put that here. Sometimes I go a little bit past. And then since I don't have it lined up on 1/4 of an inch to the side of my foot, I do know that the little line on my foot makes it 1/4 of an inch. They do look like fun, don't they? Then I have my scissors, because we're going to need them anyway. I'll put that scrap there. I'm going to be cleaning up a mess today. I can see that already. So I do have my iron ready to go, but since I'm doing so much quilting on it, I can usually just finger press it. I always lift my needle up as much as I remember to, and then it has a little wobble in it, so maybe it's not perfectly square and flat, it's a little biased or something, but I'll quilt the wobble out of it. It'll be fine. Linda K, you might want to refresh. I have a feeling you might be a little bit behind. So if you want to catch up to us in the live chat, you might need to refresh. I was going to make an oval rug until I saw the half rug, and that would be best. Yeah, the half rug looks really nice. The rectangle jelly roll rugs look nice too. I follow some, I'm in the jelly roll rugs groups on Facebook, so whenever I go on Facebook to check something, I kind of see what they're working on and see how their stuff is going, and you know, pick up tidbits and tips and tricks here and there. I think I'll put a pink. Oh, I have this one. Oh, this one will be fun. It fits perfectly down there, so I'll put that down there. This is a scrappy thing, so you just kind of do what you want. And as long as it doesn't fall apart, you're in good shape. So if you don't have a lot, then you can, yeah, he did come out to be about the right size, Linda, didn't he? So if you want, you start with a smaller bag or you start with bigger scraps. You can turn this into a wall hanging. You can make Quilt As You Go 12.5 inch blocks. I would make it about 1/2 inch to 1 inch larger all the way around, so that you can trim it down, because especially with this much quilting, it shrinks it in. So if you made a bunch of 12.5 inch blocks, 1 week or whatever, then at the end of whatever time, you can sew these together, throw a back on it, add a little quilting line down the seams or something. Because we've done that before, and then you'll have a quilt or a wall hanging or something, or even a rug. Drag rugs, yes, yes. I love the woven rugs. I have cheap Dollar Tree ones in my bathroom. I've always had them at the bathroom or at the door or something. I just like them. But again, I have one cat that we can't get those like kitchen mats that are that plasticky rubber stuff, because she doesn't like the smell of them. And every time we have one, she pees on it. So there's just no sense in having one. Which is kind of good too, because I'm sure they have a lot of chemicals anyway. All right, we need to put something here. I want to have, how about this argyle? See, what bothers me with this is from the same jelly roll, but this red is so orangey red, it makes it kind of hard. I feel like, why would they put this in this jelly roll? It doesn't match any of the reds that are in the jelly roll, right? So that one just kind of, like, what's going on? This one's a little off too, but I think it's fine. I'm going to take off the selvage so I don't have to deal with it. And you can pre-cut it or just guess. I like to let my sewing machine foot hold everything down. It's a third hand for me. It's funny, you think you spend all this time working on a project like this and you're like, wow, look at all the scraps I used up. And then you look over to the side and you're like, I didn't use any of those scraps up. The quilting like this will also make a pouch or whatever you're making, a pillow, a little bit firmer. So it'll stop it from being like a saggy type project. It has, this is why I did it with like my tote bags. It adds some weight to it and helps them stand up a little bit and be sturdier. I usually don't do this on live streams just because it takes so much time. Totally up to you, but my quilting is not exact. The lines are not straight. The spacing is not even. My fabric is just doing what it wants to. And if I put something down and I don't like it, I'll put another fabric right on top of it. As long as it doesn't shadow through, I don't mind. This is also a good project when you just want a little bit. Okay, I have this much left and it looks like a lot because I'm used to working with small things. But when I put another piece of fabric on here and 1/4 of an inch, it'll cover up that space. So I'm not gonna bother quilting another line. Are you using the same thread throughout, and what color? I am using the Essentials from Connecting Threads. I have a cone of 100% cotton white thread. I have white thread in my bobbin and I'm doing it the same color throughout. With a project like this, I have to make a decision. What's going to be the best color overall? If I were to do more reds, I was going to go with a red, but then I was worried about the red on the other ones. So I thought the white, while it doesn't blend in, it does disappear a little. I can see the white more than you can, but so you could see the white on there. A project like this, unless someone specifically asked me to do it a certain way, I will not sit there and change the top thread over and over again because that would really take the fun out of it. You can, of course, but it would bother me. I would rather make an entire red pouch and use red thread, entire green pouch and use green thread if I had to do that, because otherwise Robin will get grumpy. Robin will be a very grumpy girl. So I have this long, this is another one. I don't know if it's Joann's or Walmart. I have a lot of Walmart fabric still, especially Christmas, because they put their Christmas fabric on sale years ago for like $1 a yard. I do think a little bit. So I have pink and I want to put a fabric here, and I don't want to put pink to pink, though I could. I just choose not to. So I have this fun blue snowflake, and that's a little bit wide. So I'll sew it for a little bit and then check, and when I'm tired of seeing it, I'll just trim off the width. And it'll become probably fabric postcard scrap. I'm going to cut my thread this time, just so I can pull this up. You see if I'm just trimming it. I like to use the edge of the scissors right along the edge of the fabric and use that as a guide and just fold the fabric over, and it allows me to cut a reasonable line. And then I can fold this over. Now, before I get any further, you know how easily I am distracted, how easy it is for me to get distracted. I'm going to look at this and I'm going to just see. I think that right there is enough. So I'll put a little crease in it, and I'm not cutting off much, and what I do cut off is going to be thrown away. But for me, I feel like it's going to make a difference because I don't have a lot of big pieces. Now that's totally crooked and I'm totally okay with that. I have a big, this is the top because the snowman's going this way. So this is kind of the top. So even though I do have red and red, I can decide if I want to put the ho 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 in this project just because I love this fabric. So I think I am going to go ahead and put it up there. I should really see if I can find some more of this. For something like this, I usually only buy a 1/4 yard to a 1/2 yard, but for something like this, I think I would buy 5 yards. For those that, oh, I forgot to quilt this. I'll quilt this in a second. So for those of you that always ask, like, you know, how much fabric do I buy and stuff, it all depends on what I feel about it. So I caught that in time, so I'll just wait and then I'll quilt this. Not a big deal. I'm just reading comments. Jody just wants to thank everyone that helped her out and prayed for her and sent good wishes out. For those of you that are watching the replay and you can't see the comments yet and you're wondering why I paused, it's really, I think it's really great when we have our communities that, you know, having 100,000 subscribers or whatever, it's nice and it feels good and you can make a bit of money that way. But I do like a small to medium size, a lower medium size group so that everyone can still kind of get to know each other and, you know, send out good wishes to everybody and keep track of people's life the best we can. People come and go. We don't have the same people that we used to. I'm going to backstitch here just for fun because that's like the rule, so I'll do it. I don't want the thread to pop out, even though I'm going to quilt it to death. Now, if I'd have completely forgotten, what I would have done is I would have quilted here, and I would have quilted like in the ditch to get to the next line, and then in the ditch. So if you look really close at some of my zipper pouches, you'll see a little line of quilting right along there. And that's just because I got going and I forgot. I get excited to put the next fabric on and I forget my plan. And that's just how it is. Oh, that's my tablet. So this one says ho, 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 and I don't want to quilt in the ho, so I'm just going to go in between the rows of words. Remember, your zipper pouch, you can do anything you want. I will trim off this just to make it easier. Now, you guys know the rules. That's a ho, ho, ho fabric. I save almost every bit of this. Plus, it's kind of a triangle, so this can go in a, hold on, scrappy fabric postcard. I get there. I know, Jody, I knew someone would catch me on that we should never quilt the ho, but I'm like, should have said ho, 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 Robin, but I didn't. If you're making these two, it was too late because I already did the back, but what you can do is you can save a section of the top of the front and or back, and I was thinking that I could put when you have those red and white stripes that go on the diagonal, like the bias colored printed ones, you could put that right along the top. So when you're looking at the top, you can see the stripes on both sides of the zipper. But I didn't do that, and I didn't want to do that, so I didn't do that. But it's an idea. Jody's been with us for a very long time. A lot of you guys have. It's crazy on how many life changes we've all gone through during the time. I'm going to take off. All right, Jody, here's another one for you. I've got too many hose here and they're a little wonky, so I'm going to remove some of the hose out of my life. Speaking of, I bought a new hose. Hose, you know. We didn't bring a lot of our stuff with us, and I don't know, we probably should have. We didn't move properly. We could have done a better job at it. But being our first cross-country move, and thankfully, I mean, hopefully our last, if it happens again, I'll know better. Okay, so there's my pouch, and I don't have any green yet. So do I, oh, I have green. So do I want to bring in, I have this green. This would be fun. So I have this green. Oh, there we go again. I'm sorry, guys, but I have to have the ads on to make a little bit of money. This is ultimately my job and how I support myself. Now, this isn't too bad because there's green over here, but I do try to bring in the colors again. This pink has red and green, so it still kind of goes in. I have a couple blues. They say odd numbers are better, but whatever. I don't want to have a ton of this, I don't think. So let's see what it looks like when, ow, clunk, when we sew it down. So when I sew it down, it's going to take up, see, look, we can audition fabrics. It's going to take up that much. So I think I'm just going to trim a little bit off of the bottom here after I sew this on so I can see. I have selvage on the end. I'm just trying to put the selvage to go off of the project. If you get selvage into your bag, it's not a big deal. I've made this style or similar bags using just selvages. If you have a fun selvage, you can add it on. Oh, I know. Giovanna's on, probably on another live stream right now. So I don't know if, like, we were testing out this. If you guys ever say, like, oh, you know, we need to change up the time a little bit on the live streams, if we need to adjust it a little bit, go in the afternoon a little more, or if, see another triangle, keep it. You don't need to keep everything. If you use it, keep it. If you don't, toss it. But if you can use it for something, I say go for it. But I'm always up to change things around a little bit. Like this is kind of fun, and this is the one that, look how tiny it is. But I struggle with this, and this is about 3/8 of an inch wide. But it could go like on top of a fabric postcard. And since I'm going to be working on some Christmas ones soon, I'm going to save it for now, knowing that it's okay if I toss it out. Oh, Giovanna did make it. Giovanna is here. Hi, Giovanna. We thought you were hanging out somewhere else. We were saying some naughty things and you weren't jumping in, so we didn't think you were here. How's everything in your side of the world doing? Is the flooding better now? It can be a little hard when you're doing like plaids and checkers and stripes and stuff, but I just do my best that I can with the quilting, and just, it's gonna, just knowing that it's going to be wonky, you know? It is what it is. Yeah, you missed out. Oh, you were napping because of all the time changes and everything. Now, when I come to this situation, now I'm at the point where I can put fabric here and fabric there, and really I can kind of, I would do this section here first just because I need one more piece of fabric to be able to fully do that one. So we can keep going. And remember, when this is like a string block, when you first start doing it, it could be a little bit, it could just be ugly and you made an ugly project. If you make this ugly, turn it into a pot holder, everything is good. No more flooding for now, that's good. So you can just, it's a pot holder, it's gonna get dirty, it's gonna get burnt, throw it away, in 6 months, life goes on. But if once we trim it down, it does help a little bit. Now, what do I want to add? I've got a big corner over here, so I can lose some of what I put over here. So I don't want to put anything that I really love and that I will, you know, cut off or whatever. My doggy fabric isn't long enough, but I probably could find some more. I think my gnomes would be good over there. They wouldn't quite fill it all the way. I can add a little bit more blue over here and have that skinny bit. That would brighten it up a little bit. Look, we didn't use as much red as I thought. I'm just looking through. I have this snowflake that I really like, but I don't want to put it right next to there, but it could go somewhere. Look, sometimes you just have to make a second pouch, right? Sometimes. Here's a darker green. I can bring those Santas in, but maybe I want to put him up here. He'd get lost in the zipper. And over there, he's a little bit, So he might have to go in another pouch. Sometimes you just pull fabrics and you just can't use them. I have some Christmas trees. Sometimes you look at it, you're like, that's a little bit dark in the blues than compared to what I've put down so far. So maybe, oh, where's my, this would be fun. We could put the cardinals over here. And if I just pick a spot, then I could, well, get at least one cardinal. If I put it right here, I would get that cardinal. Now remember, this is scraps. See, Giovanna, we were being a little picky and you weren't here for us to be picky. Hi, Cordula. So I have a scrap, right? I'm not going to use it anyway. So to tell myself, oh no, I'm cutting it in the middle and I'm making these weird bits and stuff. It's okay. It's just a scrap. Technically, some people would throw it away, right? So it's okay to go ahead and cut it a little bit. And you're going to do a 1/4 inch seam. So even if you messed up and you make it a little too short, you can always cover it up with something else. Yeah, I love the cardinals. I have some white ones too. And I didn't want to bring those out because sometimes the white, you're going to see the fabrics come through on the other side, you know, in the seams and stuff. So I didn't want to do that. And with all the darker colors, and I have this red cardinal, this deep red cardinals. I've washed it and everything, but when I put it, it didn't run in the washer. I put the fabric catchers in, nothing came out red or anything. But when I hit it with my iron, something about the heat with the iron can sometimes transfer that red onto another fabric. So I try not to use it for too many things in the shop, especially if I have to iron it. But I'm not ironing too much right now. So my cardinal is a little on the diagonal, and I might lose, if I'm careful, I shouldn't lose too much of them into the side seam. And it's probably a little light for this, but I like my cardinals. They're a family thing, so we have, oh, I just sewed right through the cardinal. Sorry, cardinal. Let me trim this off. When you're not cutting your thread all the time, it can be easier. Now, okay, that's a triangle, but I'm going to put it in the trash because it's not big enough to really do much with. Now, if I had 17 of them, then I would save it because then I'd have enough to actually do something with them. I will have to add a piece in the corner, so I think I will trim. I don't want to have a big seam right there on my seam. I cut like I do Nintendo. Can you see my head? Where you have to, when in the 80s and you play the controllers like this when you're playing games. Yeah, I cut my fabric that way too. Okay. So then I could put a little piece of something that I don't care about too much. Maybe a little red to bring back in. We're keeping it a little bit red still without being too red. And then I'll just put that there. It's just you don't have to think a lot, but there's a few things you have to think about. I love the greens in there too. Maybe we should put some more greens up towards that top to balance them out. So I give this a little press and I can flip it over and just trim so that I can see my batting. Make sure you pull your fabric so it doesn't slip back down on you. I'll put them over there and I'll make decisions about that later. I don't have to make decisions about everything now. That's what the container on my table's for, and I have a little bucket for scraps for fabric postcards. And as I'm making my cards or my postcards, I make a decision whether or not to use it. So yes, this could have used red thread, but it is as it is. Jody's on here a lot when she remembers. Huh, Jody? Sometimes Jody has a life. I usually don't. I'm usually here. Not that I don't have a life, because my life is very fulfilling, but I usually don't, I just don't see, I don't have a need to leave the house anymore that much. Though I do need, see now, look, see the snowman's not quilted, so he's kind of a little bit poofed up. You can actually put an extra piece of batting underneath him to make him stand up a little bit more. It is a bright red, right? You can put the batting underneath there to make him puff up a little bit, just make it bigger. What I would do is I'd take my piece of fabric, I'd cut a piece of batting a little bit bigger, and right along the edge, I would sew the fabric and the batting to my batting so that it would poof up, especially if you have some of that like polyester batting that's poofy. And then I would trim the extra batting away from the edges and then go about and do it like that. And then you'd have a nice poofy bit. So green, 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 green. All I have is the dark green. You know, I really like the stockings. So you know what? For right now, it's my bag until I put it in the shop. So if I want to put some Christmas stockings up there, I can. If I don't make it all the way to the edge, I can put something there or just trim the bag down. I haven't chosen a zipper yet because I don't know what size it's going to be. That's the same reason why I haven't cut my lining fabric. So I think I'll move this down a little bit. So if I go down a little bit on the previous piece of fabric, it's okay. It'll just give me a little extra space afterwards. My daughters have discovered Walmart delivery in an hour. They love it. Don't have to go to town. Yeah, I use Walmart delivery a lot. I use Amazon because I have to be careful, right? You know, you check and see. But for business things like packing supplies and all of that, you're really going to order them online. And most of the time, Amazon has the deals and stuff. See, look, I can throw that one away. That's going to leave me a little bit here. And that's fine. When I'm going to trim off this extra here. Whoop, fell down in my lap. And then I'm going to stitch this down to hold it in place so I don't have any issues of it slipping. This will just help a little bit. And then I will trim this off. And if I want this entire corner to be this stocking, I can add that on. Look, it's actually from right there. So I can add this on right now. I'll just smooth it over. And I'll do a little bit of a scan. And hopefully it won't be too much in that corner with the zipper. If it becomes an issue, I can just make it smaller. My youngest, Robbie, he doesn't like to go out to the stores either. So he's also learned the value of just sitting down on his phone or on the computer, and I let him use my Walmart Plus. And he can just make a grocery order at 3 in the morning and have it delivered whenever. It's very convenient, but in this area, the Walmarts are a bit different than they were back in Florida. And it's because in Florida, like in my area of Florida, Walmart was you had Walmart or you had Publix, which was an expensive grocery store. Most of the other lower ones, like for those that are familiar in this area, Fry's is what I would consider like the Walmart of Florida. Well-stocked, reasonable prices and stuff. S'moresies, are you hungry, sweetie? Would you like something to eat? I'm talking to my kitty cat. I have a bowl of food ready for her because she hasn't had lunch yet. So let me just get her a snacky lunch. Here you go, sweetie. Are you hungry? Do you want to eat? Good, mama got you some food. Isn't that the mama? It's a nice mama. Yeah, so you didn't have a lot of choices for, oh, yep, she's hungry, for grocery stores. So Walmart had to be well stocked and have everything there. Here, there's so many options of stores. Okay, let's help Tina out here. Tina, I'm ready to get started. I have my first pieces down. I'm ready to add the second piece. How much do I need to overhang the bottom piece? Let me just finish this line so I can pull mine out. Are you hearing me right now, Tina, or are you watching the replay? Okay, so when I put my first piece down and I put my second piece, I want my edges to line up. So when I put this piece down first, I put my second piece right sides together, so the nice sides down, and I want to just line it up even with that side, and that's going to be the first seam that I stitch. Okay, perfect. If you were like 3 minutes behind, it would make it a little hard to help. So you're going to line up this edge perfectly. The seam is not super important. 1/4 inches in general, but you just want to make sure that your fabric's not going to fray and undo your stitching line. So 1/4 inch is your normal quilting one, but if it's a little thinner, it's okay. And it doesn't even have to be a straight line. Do the best you can to try to stay even with the edge, and just, you can use like the edge of your presser foot and just stitch right there. As long as these two should line up. If they don't line up and they look like that, it's not a big deal, but you just want to make sure both pieces of fabric are stitched together and down onto your piece of fabric down below. Cheryl uses Walmart pickup, but she gets her produce and meats from Smith's. Luckily, they recently started pickup. I love Amazon. Because of my health, I no longer shop. I just don't have a need to shop, really. I mean, I have needs, right? Because Amazon's at my house every week. They probably know me by name and know my address, but Surprise hasn't, not Surprise, but that's Surprise where I live. For those of you that don't know, we're in Surprise, Arizona. They have an Amazon warehouse right here. So there's a lot of times that I could get items in just a couple hours, same day delivery or the next morning. So it's really kind of convenient. But I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know, but the Dollar Tree's not really close to me. Dollar Tree used to be like a half a mile from my house. I'd have Walmart, Dollar Tree, Kohl's, and a few other things, a bunch of different other stores. So now it's not far. It's not far. It's just the traffic here is a bit crazy, and it does take a bit, you know, parking lots are bigger and stuff, but it's like whatever. It's an up-and-coming town is what it is. It's going to be an actual city not very long. It's half the size of Cape Coral from back home, but it's half the population. And I think geographically it's about, Surprise is much smaller than Cape Coral, maybe a third. Joann's, I like to order from Joann's if I want to get like 5 yards of a background fabric. I order from Joann's and let them deliver, because Joann's, you could get it in 3 days or you can get it in 2 weeks. Great. I hope you don't mind if we call you Tina. Tell me if it's not good. We'll call you whatever you want. I'm really terrible with names, but it says Tina right there, so I'm okay. yeah, I'm really surprised sometimes when I'm doing a video because I know I went through a whole thought process in my head. So when I'm editing a video, I'm figuring, oh, I'm going to take out this big space, but I actually did. Okay, great. Thanks. Tina likes Tina for everyone who can't see the chat. I'm always surprised that there's not a big pause that I actually thought while I was talking. So no wonder why I lose track all the time, because I'm having 3 conversations in my head and trying to figure out where I was going with the conversation, but I like it. Oh, here, so I think I'm going to switch. I'm going to do Walmart for convenience when I've been like stocking up my pantry because I ate most of my pantry. I think I brought like 6 canned goods with us when we moved. So I needed to stock up my pantry because I like to keep like 12 cans of black beans and 8 cans of cranberry sauce and 4 corn, 4 peas. I like to have a good pantry. So like next month, if money's tight or I don't want to shop or something, I want to spend my food money on something else or just save it, I can live off of the food in the house. Used to be so that I didn't have to go out if I was sick or in too much pain or something, but I don't have that issues here because of delivery. We had to save a lot in Florida, so I always get confused between that. There's a Fry's, an Albertsons, Walmart. I want to get my produce from Sprouts because they have a lot of, I'm not vegan, but I can't have milk. I'm dairy free due to an allergy, so I basically shop vegan items for different things. So Sprouts usually has some nice vegan things. I'm going to put, ooh, that might work nice right there. I don't know what my plan was, but I'm going to put that there. Do I want the 2 blues? I could put them there. That works there too. I just want to make sure that most of them aren't upside down. So there's a Sure Safe. For the holidays, I have a lot on my channel. I have probably like 800 videos. I've been doing this for 7 or 8 years. So there's a lot of quick Christmas gifts. I did now for me, myself, I'm not going to do too much. I want to do some Christmas stockings. I don't do handmade items for gifts. I do send out like fabric postcards and things like that. But just for fun and stuff, I don't know. I don't know. I'm taking December. If you watch my last Wednesday's video, Tina, you'll see that I'm taking December off from structured videos and stuff. We'll probably just have some fun things going on so that I can do a few end of the year business stuff and things like that. Next Friday, I'm hoping to do the log cabin tutorial because we're going to do a quilt along next year. We're going to do log cabins. Everyone can choose their style, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to make, and then you guys can decide if you want to make the same style or you want to make traditional. Because I do have a few log cabin videos. I have a few, I'm going to put that over there for fun. We have quilting videos. We have actual quilt-alongs on this channel. There's a lot, really. I have a lot. I have a playlist just for zippers. So there's zipper pouches and zippers for tote bags, and there's a ton of zipper pouches on there. Giovanna always has extra food in the house, freezer packed. Oh yeah, I just have the freezer on top of my refrigerator right now. It's full. Walmart allowed me to choose what size turkey I want, and it was like 8 to 10 or 8 to 12 pounds, and then it was like 12 to 25 or something. They sent me a 22.5-pound turkey. I don't have a pan for it. I don't know if my pan's still packed. I haven't unpacked everything yet. I'm just going to go to Dollar Tree and Walmart and get one of the, probably Walmart to get their sturdy one. It's crazy. We're not doing like Thanksgiving dinner, but I still cook an entire Thanksgiving meal because I love Thanksgiving foods. And turkey's one of my favorites, turkeys and chickens, and I like pork too. I like the white meats. My gut doesn't like beef too much, so I go easy on that. So I'll eat turkey for the next 3 months. I don't have a problem. I actually have another turkey coming from my daughter's job. They give everyone a turkey. So my kids will pick a little bit with mine. Thank you, Giovanna. And then I'll make like a bone broth in the Instant Pot and all of that fun stuff. So you have to figure it's basically me that I'm cooking for Thanksgiving. So I have a 22.5-pound turkey. I'll make stuffing. I'll have the whole hors d'oeuvre snack things with pepperoni and chips and dip and cheese and crackers. I'll do all of that. I'm thinking about getting some vegetables because I like to dip them in like a homemade ranch that I make because of the dairy issue. So I'm going to do all of that. I'm going to have a whole spread for a family of 5 plus leftovers, but it's just going to be for me. I've been doing that every year since, it was just me and the husband. And then after he passed, I still did the same thing. All right, so let's take a look. Do we want polka dots over there? I'm kind of voting no. We have that. We doubled up on that. I could gnome again, but I don't think I want to. I only have a little bit of the candy cane. I can bring more candy cane in. Yeah, let's do that. I have candy cane, or I do have the trees. I think the trees might actually be a little bit better because of the colors with the green. All right, we'll do the trees. Oh, to show you how I make the dips. Sorry, I heard a noise. Okay, so this is what I do, Giovanna. I do it different every time. Jackie, my daughter is coming home on Tuesday the 26th. I have to go get her at 9:30 p.m. at the Phoenix airport. Did I mention that I go to bed at 10 and sometimes I fall asleep on my couch at like 8? That's going to be a fun ride. She will be home she wanted to make sure that she came home on Tuesday versus Wednesday. And I don't know when she's flying back out. I don't have it marked on my calendar because that's a need-to-know basis. And she usually doesn't even have her flight back yet. She's coming home for Christmas, and then, knock on wood, she's home for good then. So with my dip, Giovanna, I do a Miracle Whip because they have a vegan version. So I just put some mayonnaise in a bowl. I found a VioLife, VIO Life, has sour cream that's vegan, so I'll add a little bit of sour cream to it. But sometimes for just the ranch, I'll just put a little mayonnaise in it, and then I have a honey mustard Italian dressing from Skinny Girl, and I just throw that in there to give it a little zest. Otherwise, the dips usually are, my family likes a dip that my stepmother did, and it's mayonnaise, it's sour cream, and then you just add like oregano, Italian seasoning, and then it's like some onion powder, and you just keep adding that in until you have a nice fun taste to it. So there's no major craziness that we do, and we just kind of like wing it all the time. Thanks, Cheryl. Oh, Cheryl free sews too. That's what I love to do. Just kind of pick up the fabric and make it. I was getting a little grumpy, and then when I made that project recently, I don't even remember what I made, but it just made me, when I was making that zipper pouch from the leftovers from the snowman or whatever, it just makes me happy when I do this. Yep, I think I probably sewed that on upside down. Oh no, look, it's going to work out. Haha, it's right. I got lucky. It's not like it's all multi-directional. It's just the ones coming right along here are a certain way. My stepmother just kind of made things up all the time. So this is something I kind of picked up because there was my father and my stepmother, and then there was 4 kids. And, money's always tight in well, not always, but in general, money can be tight when you have kids and stuff. So she just had to figure out how to make things stretch. So she just kind of opened up the refrigerator or the freezer and just made things. And then I expanded on that as I got older with my family. And sometimes you don't have the money, or sometimes you can't get out to the store for whatever reason. This one is missing a little smidge there. So that'll be at the bottom. So I wonder if I should put another something there to do that corner. I could put another piece of this, but that would really put that in the corner then. So I'll just do that. So I just learned how to wing it and figure out, you know, what you like and taste. Nowadays it's so much easier with the internet. You just want to do a copycat. One of the family favorites is sour cream and French onion powder. It's the French onion soup powder mix from like Lipton. You just mix the two of those together and you have French onion dip. My kids like when I make that no knead crusty bread. I usually make a loaf for myself and a loaf for them, and it goes really quick. Jackie, it's going to be about the same here because, oh, that's fun, Giovanna. Cardboard with some scrap fabric. I've seen a few different videos where people are using different things like that to make, you know, like the trees where you cut the line in the foam or the cardboard and you go like this. People have been doing a lot with that. My daughter's going to go to her boss and her friend's house for Thanksgiving, well, and Christmas probably. So she won't actually be home on Thanksgiving Day. I'm thinking about I'll make the turkey like 2 days ahead because it's going to take a long time. It's going to take 4 or 5 hours to cook. And I don't want to get up because we usually eat Thanksgiving around 1. Robbie, my youngest, he's 25, but he's still my youngest. He'll probably be doing, whatever. And if he gets up and he's awake at that time, he'll eat. And if not, he'll do, like I said, whatever. And then Justin will probably be up, or he might be out and about doing stuff. I never know with what my kids are going to be doing. I'm just looking over here for a fabric that's appropriate. I guess I can bring, oh, here's one, snowman. So I'll probably sew most of the day, and I like to eat lunch at 11 in the morning, so I'll probably eat before everyone else. It'll be more of a leftovers than an actual Thanksgiving meal. Black Bear Diner for your son. Yeah, that sounds good too. We used to get them from Publix, but the problem, because of my food allergies, is there's not a lot that I can eat. So we used to get them from Publix grocery store. They have a really good one. That's how we learned about cranberry chutney with oranges in it. Now, I'm allergic to oranges. Of course, I'm allergic to too many things. So I would make it for the family. This year, I'm not going to make cranberry chutney for everybody. If they want it, they're going to have to learn how. I'll help them figure out how to make it themselves. The directions are right on the cranberry pouch, so they can figure it out themselves. But I have canned cranberry because I like to make turkey paninis with turkey. Make a sandwich. I'll do turkey stuffing, cranberry sauce, all of it. Put it in my little griddler and press it down and have a toasted sandwich. So chutney is really not that important to me. Yeah, see, that's my son does stuff online and stuff like that, so he's like, whatever. My kids are more night owls. I'm usually the first one up and the last one to bed, but now Justin, my oldest, he has a morning job. He has to be to work by 8, so he gets up, like I said, at 5 in the morning and goes for a walk. Then he comes home, showers, maybe he'll make a breakfast, and then he'll go off to work and stuff. Alrighty. I have a piece of bobbin thread. Hold on. Tweezers. I'll make a pumpkin pie. I bought the apples a bit ago to make an apple crumble pie. I don't know. Gosh darn it. I don't know if, I don't know what they're going to do. They usually buy frozen pies and stuff. I just make for me because I can't have that cross-contamination or anything like that, so we just do whatever. They've been living on their own since 7 years because Robbie was 18. So whatever 7 years ago was. Oh, you're going to make me take off that stupid plate, aren't you? I like my Brother's sewing machine, or Brother's in general, because you can just slide the plate off and clean underneath. But this one I have to use, I have to get that out. It's going to cause a problem. Past experience tells me not to ignore it, that I have to fix it. And then we'll just go ahead. All right, I'm going to put this on so I don't lose any screws in my machine. I like to take this foot off. Sorry. Yeah, so that's just what it's gonna be a very quiet day. I'll have done all of the prep ahead of time, and I might do the bread that day just to make the house smell good and smell like Thanksgiving. This one screw always bothers me. I feel like the slot is not even. I can see where it has a deep side and a shallow side, and it makes it a little hard to get going. Oh, Disneyland, that's fun. Hello, loving me some photography. Yeah, isn't that material fun? I bought that one to do the quilt along. Was I imagining it? Oh, where did I see? I know I saw a thread. I'm not crazy. I just play a crazy person on YouTube. How's that, right? You know, I just cleaned the machine and everything. I think I'm seeing things. I think I'm looking at the, there's a metal channel thing in there and it's hitting the light just right, and that's what I'm seeing. So I did all of that for nothing. My apologies. But at least I didn't cause a problem with my machine. My machine was just teasing me. All right. We're good. It's just, I don't sit over here, like I said, so the light's hitting it a little weird. That's funny. Oh, hi, Laura. Yes, just sew all the fabrics together and you can make your own fabrics. You can make a whole new piece of whatever just by taking it. That's what I think I want to do, because I have a big bin of the Christmas fabrics and I don't do a lot. It's like, I don't know, right? Stockings haven't sold in my shop. Maybe I just haven't found the right pattern or the right fabrics, or people just don't want them. I see a lot of people making stockings on Instagram and they seem to sell. So apparently, I mean, I need to do better with my Instagram. That's all. That's part of my plan for next year, to do a little bit better. My son Justin and I, iPhones, or phones in general, we need to upgrade our phones to the next one. We're a couple behind and it's starting to be like a battery issue. Like, I don't even know what my battery is like right now. I usually, sometimes after a live stream it's great, and other times it's almost dead, and it doesn't matter if it's 3 hours today or 3 hours tomorrow. 3 hours is 3 hours, right? So we're going to be getting new phones, and I'm going to keep my phone because it's all paid for. I'm going to use that phone for Instagram. I have to put this away so I don't lose it. And then use the new phone for like recording for YouTube, so that I can do two things at the same time, because YouTube is horizontal and Instagram is vertical, and it does better when you follow the rules. Yeah, I don't know what it is, Jackie. Oh, I have a crocheted sweater is on my list. You sewed on a Netchi from 78. Wow. For those of you that have been around forever, I loved my Brother Disney sewing machine. I put it out to the road. I had it to a repair shop and everything, and they're like, listen, lady, it's going to cost more to fix it, and I can't guarantee it'll last more than a year. So I put it out to the road. So I hope someone was able to do something with it. just for some regular sewing, it wouldn't be too bad. It just made this loud clunking noise. Oh, look, we're done, right? Okay, give me a second to clean up my mess, and then we'll progress to stage 74. I just needed something, and one of the viewers was so generous, and they purchased this for me as a gift. And I love the Juki. It's a good powerhouse. I can definitely tell the difference when I switch from machine to machine. I got the Brother as a backup and also to do like fabric postcards and stuff, so I would have one needle and not have to switch it out. But having a backup is really important because I had to put this one to the side for a little bit in Florida because it needed a deeper clean. And then I found some fuzz stuck in the bottom, and then it was perfectly fine because I couldn't find someone to clean it in Florida, but I'm sure it'll be easy here. So I enjoy making stockings. I love to make the felt ones from those kits, and I have a kit or two. I have an embroidery, a cross stitch, and a felt one, I believe. Remember the other year I bought them as an after Christmas sale, if you were here for that? Hydrate, flavored water. I do the wild berry from the Walmart. It's the same one I've been drinking for years. My stomach likes it. Sorry for drinking in your ear, but it's life. Okay, my iron's heating up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press this. And then I'm going to take this over to the spot where you can't see me working on it. I'm going to put my big ruler here on it, and I'm going to see what measurement I can get. If you've made yours a little crazy like a string block, turn it over this way and trim your fabric with a pair of scissors or on your rotary cutter table on your mat. Trim it so you can see the batting. That way you know when you're on this side that every fabric you're looking at all the way to the edge has batting underneath it. I've never heard of that, so I'm guessing it's an Italian machine or something, or French. I started with the basic, $69 Singer from back in the day when my kids were little, before, more than 25 years ago, because Robbie wasn't even here yet. Yeah, I was so grateful when I got the Brother. It was a scratch and dent sale at Walmart because the side of the box was really smashed in, like bad. But it was just styrofoam there. It never touched the machine because those of you know that you've unboxed a brand new sewing machine, it's more styrofoam and less machine. So I got the Brother embroidery machine for a little over $100. I think I spent $150, and it was like a $500 or $600 machine at the time. So Rob and I, we were really happy. I'm like, can I have permission? I don't want to spend it. We had a thing where if you spend over a certain dollar amount, I think at that time it was $75 or $100, we had to discuss it. And he's like, yeah, I get it. Because he was really supportive of my crafting. Conversation. Oh, Safeway. That's the grocery store. See, sometimes I have to think about other things and then I'm good. So Safeway is another grocery store here. It's kind of, Fry's is at, Walmart's at the bottom, then Fry's, this is my opinion, and then Safeway and Albertsons. I think Safeway is part of the Albertsons chain. All right, so I can see all of my fabric. So I'm going to put my ruler down and I'm going to see, I'll start out by trimming off the right side and the top and make that nice little, is it a 90-degree corner? Whatever, I'm going to make a nice squared corner there. Your zipper pouch can be any shape you want. If you want it to be on a weird diagonal or whatever, you can do that. But I'm going to do this and I'm just going to trim that off and then I'll spin it around and I will line it up on my numbers so it's nice and even here, and I'll trim off the extra there. Then I will figure out what the measurements are. I try to trim it to a number, and the only reason I try to trim it to a number like 8.5, 8 1/4 is because when I put it in the shop, I have to give it a number. I put thread all over the top, but you don't have to. This is just one of the styles that I like to do, Tina. Right angle, yeah. Sometimes I do it and sometimes I don't. But what I did is I didn't put it on the snowman because I didn't want him to have any thread on it. So when I put this piece down, I sewed it down and I put it over, and then I just quilted it down like that. Again, you don't have to, but I like the look. I like the way it makes it look nice and flat. Sometimes in the live streams, I just put that one line of top stitching on after I flip it over. But this time I thought we'd spend, if we don't finish the pouch, we don't finish the pouch. But we're only 12:30. That's an hour and a half, right? The time is still good. My clock didn't stop. Yeah, it's 12:30 still. So that's what I did. Again, you don't have to, but that's what I chose to do. I usually don't on the live stream because it takes a lot of time. So let's say, let me trim this down and then I'll tell you the exact measurements and then I'll tell you, I'm giving it a good steamy press because you know me, I love a good steamy press. I have my little Oliso iron out because I find that it works better for zipper pouches so I don't burn my fingers and the big one isn't, because the big one's just big and it gets in the way. So I'm going to put this down and I'm going to look at it. And as I said, I will take the first one, and what I want to check too is I have big pieces here, right? I have that one seam right there, but it's not too bad. It's not bulky. So if I had something like this, I would try to keep most of this in the corner, or I would want to cut it right off, just so I don't have a weird seam. But I try to use big pieces in the corner because I learned that lesson. So that allows me to take, and also if you have a zipper, you have to make it to fit your zipper. Now remember, I like my zippers to be longer than my pouch, so we'll figure that out when I go into the zipper container. But if you're working, sometimes I work backwards. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I've got a 6-inch zipper. I need to make a pouch to match that zipper size. All right, so I have the side and the top, and put the rotary cutter down, make people nervous. So then I'll put my ruler on here and I'll line it up at the bottom. At the bottom it would be 8 inches, but oh, I do have enough fabric up there, but I think I want to put it down a little. And I'm going to put it down to 7 3/4. It's still going to end up being weird because I use a 3/8 seam allowance, not a 1/4 of an inch. So that'll put me at 7 3/4. And then over here, I have it lined up. It just happens to line up at the 12-inch mark. And I have a little bit to cut off. So mine's going to be 7 3/4 by 12 inches. Just this piece. It's not going to be my finished pouch. So I'll trim that up. 7, sometimes when I'm in here by myself, I still talk to myself. 7 3/4, maybe I can do the 8. Let me look again. Now that I have it on a flat surface, I think I can do the 8. So I'll go ahead and do 8. Because that corner wasn't as bad as I thought it was. You really just want to have whatever you have, like, you know, like Giovanna says, the right corners. So you want to have 4 sides that are even in the way that you want them to be. Whether, I like straight lines. I don't know how you're going to put a zipper on if it's not a straight line. So that much is my opinion. So your options are to just go like this and cut around. Thankfully, mine is big enough. That was kind of close. Normally, I wouldn't make the back until after I make the front, but we had a time thing here. So I'll lay it like, I hear something. Oh, I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear that? It's those Oliso irons. They make this like whiny crying sound. Yeah, I'm crazy. You guys have seen it before too, where sometimes things just fall off my shelves. Remember that back in Florida? Jody likes to collect everything. Mom needs pants repairs and my brother couldn't handle them. Dad got me the Janome HD 3000. That was very nice of Dad. Yeah, it's nice. The Juki, if you were thinking about like, oh, I like what Robin's machine, she makes a lot of things on it. Crafty Gemini, I think I might have my machines in the description, but it's a Juki HZL-F600. There's a 200, a 400, and a 600 version. Crafty Gemini did a video on this, and she put like layers of denim and sewed through it. I'm like, if she can sew through denim, then I'm going to be able to do what I need. Yeah, you are. So I'm going to trim the back to match the front because that makes sense, right? And if something happens and you've already made the back and it's not big enough, then you know what you can do? You can make your front smaller. We can do that. Like this one, ooh, this is really close, but we're okay. And if you messed up and things don't work and you don't want to make your front smaller, then you can always make a new back. Now you can make the back just as scrappy as the front, but I kind of feel sometimes that it's fun to have that quirky front and then just to have a nice fabric on the back. Plus, if you do both sides scrappy and quirky, that's twice the work and twice the time, twice the thread, twice the fabric, whatever. Sometimes I'll make a whole bunch of panels and then I'll decide what they're going to be later. Like maybe I want to make a bunch of 12.5-inch squares and then I can turn them into smaller zipper pouches or something later. Okay. Front, matching back. Now I need to have 2 pieces of fabric for the lining. I don't put stabilizer, interfacing, anything on that. Hi, Terry. Welcome, welcome. If I had more, I'm not much for collecting vintage machines, but if I had more space, I might have another machine or two. I mean, if I get a serger, it's something that needs to be somewhere so I can use it. I don't like pulling machines out all the time. I like to have them all out. That's why I have 2 of them sitting on the table. My brother is usually behind this machine, excuse me, but I take it off the table when I'm doing quilts and stuff. So 12 by 8, is that what we figured out? You could put something on this, on your lining, or, you know, some people put interfacing, some people put fusible fleece for certain bags. Some people do that waxed canvas or something on the inside. You can do what you want. Okay, yeah, so it's 12 by 8. Now, here is my front. It doesn't stand up on its own, but it's heavily quilted, right? The back, it doesn't want to, it's really wobbly. This one I can feel it's a little firmer, so if you need to strengthen it up a little bit, you can add fusible fleece to the back of this after you've quilted it. You can add it to your liner. You can add, fabric. You can add interfacing and stuff to it. You can still do more. Sometimes if I want it really stiff, I'll put, just like a quilt, I'll have my scraps here, and on the back, I'll have my batting, and I will put some spray adhesive to hold a piece of fabric there so that I'm quilting through 3 layers as if it were a quilt. But this pouch, I want it to be kind of fun, so that's not going to happen. So I'll just sneak over here and I'll cut my lining pieces. So they need to be 12 by 8. So that's easy enough. So we've been thinking the same thing for Christmas as for Thanksgiving, that my kids really haven't been into it. We used to go to my father's house and my grandparents would be there and we have a little bonfire on Christmas Eve and everybody would be opening up presents. It was a big deal for like the kids. My parents went so all out with them because they couldn't buy a lot for us when we were younger, so they kind of spoiled the grandkids, which was fine for us because then Rob and I, my husband Rob and I, we would just get them some clothes and some little toys and some small things for Christmas morning, because we usually have to take 2 trips home, or they would have to use the truck to come home, to bring the kids' Christmas stuff home, because they just gave them so much. It was crazy. Plus my oldest two were the only grandkids and great-grandkids for a long time. So I haven't forgotten about you. I'm just over here rambling, keeping you company while I'm trimming this down. This is going to take out most of this fabric, which is kind of nice. And then it can go into my Christmas stash. You just want to have all 4 pieces matching, of course, so that they all fit in nicely. Some people will cut their lining a little bit narrower, just so that they can have a lining that's not so baggy and loose. But I haven't had much success with that process. I just do something a little different. So here's what's left. All right. I don't know. I also don't like talking machines. Taking machines out. My serger's near me. Yeah. You know, keep it all in one spot. I thought, Cheryl, you said I don't like talking things out. I'm like, uh-oh, because I talk things out all the time. Ask my patrons, because I use them as a sounding board all the time. Most of them seem to enjoy me just saying out loud what my plans are for a project and just talking through it. And when things don't work out, I talk about my changes and stuff like that. So that it's nice that they enjoy that. It's kind of a release. I want to press these and make them a little bit neater. So give them a good press. Normally people will say to use a lighter fabric for the lining on pouches and bags, just so it's easier to find things instead of being in a dark cavern. But for small zipper pouches, I usually just do what I want. I try to stick with the lighter one, but sometimes I might use like a red Santa Claus fabric in this one just to match. Open your bag up a little bit more. You should be able to see in there. It's a zipper pouch. It's not like, you know, a tote bag or a purse or backpack or something. Okay. So there we go. You live in a 1-bedroom apartment. There's no way. Yeah, that's true. Dust is very bad. It's much worse here than in Florida, and I thought Florida was bad. Yeah, we would go for Thanksgiving. We used to go to my grandparents until they got a little older. Then we started going to my father's, and everyone would bring things. And I just did not like, when Rob and I started having kids, I didn't have much self-confidence. He kind of helped me boost my self-confidence and gave me, poor guy, he should have left me a little bit meeker because I made his life pretty hard. We used to always laugh. He's like, I should never have taught you how to be self-confident. And I'm like, yeah. Because I go to my parents' house for Thanksgiving, and my stepmother and I didn't get along, and her parents would be there, and they didn't get along with me very much. I was very much the black sheep. My brother says he's the black sheep, but no, I've always been the black sheep of the family. So when we were having kids and stuff, we decided to do Thanksgiving at our own house, and it was always a much more relaxed. It's kind of a, instead of looking really nice and kind of dressing up, we're very home bodies, and it's like sweatpants, and you know, you put a nice t-shirt on. You don't come to the table without a t-shirt on. Take your hat off and be respectful. But we would just all get around, and we'd have the football games on and watching TV and putting movies on and chit-chatting and stuff. We like a very relaxed holiday. But it did make it difficult over time. Like now it was just the 5 of us, and now it's down to the 4 of us, and the kids are older, so they're out doing their own thing. So you know what? I'm very, very happy to just stay home and sew on my sewing machine and have fun. I play a little mind game with myself because it's a holiday. That means I don't have to work. I'm not allowed to work on holidays. I can make stuff for the Etsy shop because that's fun sewing. That's not working. So I can do anything I want on the holidays, so I kind of enjoy it. All right, so now we have to figure out the zipper before we go any... my chair's in the way. My room is huge, but at the same time it's small because there's things in it. So this is my zipper container. If you guys have been around for a few months, I did put in a big 200 zipper order. I buy them from Zip It on Etsy. That is what covers are for. Yeah, we cover just about everything, Giovanna, but there's still dust everywhere. I could make a live, or I could just kind of do my own thing and have fun. Close my door, put on Christmas stuff. I'm going to look for a Bluetooth speaker so that I can blast Christmas music because I love Christmas music. All right, my zipper pouch is 12 inches, so my zipper has to be at least 12 inches. I prefer 14 to 16 because I can make 20 or 50 zipper pouches at a time. I did buy a bunch in bulk. I have some white ones because I was thinking white would be good. So these are 14 inches. So this is like the optimum right here. But I do have 14 inches. These are my pastels. And I do have 14 inches in the rainbow colors. But I was thinking white, just because I think the white, the bright white against the green on, because I have green and red and stuff on top, and then against the white against the black, the white will go with this. So I think that's going to work out perfect for me. So I'll just take a 14-inch one. My nephew volunteers at a VA place, and we all go there. I can't eat due to celiac, but it's nice. No one needs to clean up, can visit, come and go. Well, yeah. See, that's what's really nice is when you go to someone else's house. But like when I went to my parents', of course, I had to stay. I had to be there the day before to do prep work. I had to be there early in the morning to do the day of prep work. And then after, we didn't have a dishwasher, so afterwards I had to be there to wash the dishes. So, don't ask me what my sisters did because you guys can kind of guess what that answer would be. But I learned how to cook a lot of things and how to do different things. So, it's one of those things, it's not anything horrible that I would say I want to change my entire life. It's just one of those things that I learned a lot. I learned what, oh, sorry, I hit the tripod. You learn what you like and what you don't like, and you learn what to do in your own home. And hopefully every generation is better than the generation before. All right, Robin, stop. Before we go any further, I need to add my label to one of these. I have a bigger label, but it has a heart on it, and that's kind of fun. But I think I'm going to save those for tote bags. And I'll just put my little label in here so it doesn't stand out too much. I buy these from Ever Emblem. And I get the ones with the heat and bond fusible on the back. So that, where's my ruler? What I do is very, very scientific. Very, oh, you know, sarcasm. So I kind of find the center. And I figure the D in RsIslandCrafts is in between the D and the C is close enough about that center area. And then I take my ruler, and this has got 1.5 inches, so I just put it on there. The rulers are like flatter on the back than on the front, and they don't sit very well. It's kind of weird. And then I just put it there and take it over to my iron. There are so many labels you can purchase now, so even if you're not putting them in the shop, if you want to put just there's funny ones with swear words in it. This took me so effing long. And there's ones that you're like, yeah, you better like it because I made it. Or you can just have ones that said made by Robin and stuff like that. Then I stitch it down because heat and bond, this is the heat and bond light, so it's only temporary. It needs to be. Oh, where's Tina? I took a break for hot chocolate and candy canes. Ooh, nice. I was going through the zippers. If yours is 12.5 by 8, yeah, it would have to be at least 12.5 inches, but it's easier to do zippers if they're a little bit longer. So if you have one that's 14 inches, that would be great. Just like Giovanna said, better at 14 inches. Labels for the bowl cozies. I don't put any labels in my bowl cozies because I don't know if there's like metal in the ink or something like that. So I don't put labels on bowl cozies. I don't know if I've seen anyone put labels on bowl cozies. I like to change my foot even for a simple thing like a label because I have a big old open toe foot And it allows me, because I just kind of freeform sew these down, so it allows me to see in that space better. And I pick a spot somewhere in the middle on a long side, and then I just eyeball it. I just need the label to stay down, right? I don't need, you can put fancy stitches on. Sometimes I do that. If I were using a fun fabric, I might do a fancy stitch just to make it look like the lights or the stuff like that. My labels are from Ever Emblem, EVER and EMBLEM. They're on Etsy and they're also on, they have their own website. You usually get better deals on their own website, but I kind of do Etsy and pay a little extra just because it's easy to find and reorder again. And the zippers are from Zip It on Etsy. I am using a nylon zipper because I'm going to sew right over it and trim it. So Tina, if you have a metal zipper, the metal zippers have to be like the exact same size, and you either sew past the nylon. I don't do metal zippers. So nylon is the best. Yeah, you could, but I don't know. Hi, Terry. Thanks for hanging out with us. I don't know if you said hi, I probably didn't see you. So either my apologies or welcome. Terry is getting things done. So that's it. I do like to trim the threads off the back. Oh, some people get really upset if they see me making things and I don't snip the threads. Even if it's going to get like cut off later or something, the threads really bother some people. I only get a little irked. They usually bother me like on the front of quilts when they constantly, you spend an hour trimming the threads and then you find 6 more later on. All right, so we're all set now. Now I need the front of my pouch, right side up in the proper direction. I need pins or quilting clips. I'm a quilting clipper, so I will put that over here. Here's my zipper. Right side up is the part with the teeth and the zipper pull. I don't do zipper by the foot. I don't like putting the zipper tabs, the pulls back on. I know with practice I'd get good, but, oh, I think I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me if I do. I like to just, this is what I like. I don't like to change, you know. When I like something, I like it, and I just stick with it. I do have some zippers by the foot in purple. I have some lace zippers that I really need to use up. I'm lining the top. I'm mostly talking for Tina, so if anyone else needs help, it's great. Hi, Janice. Oh, you're trying to motivate. You made the first one flat. I am taking jeans and sewing them together to make seat covers. What can I do with the metal zippers? The metal zippers can be used. So with a zipper, I don't do zipper tabs, so I only have a limited. You can look for videos. But you have this part right here. And on a metal zipper, you usually sew it through here. Or you make they make like zipper tabs where they put the fabric on to extend it a little bit and stuff. I don't really care for those. And I've never been able to get mine to look the way I like. So I like these zippers. There's nothing wrong with the nylon zipper. And there's nothing wrong with not having the zipper tabs. Just whatever works for you. But the metal ones can be used for like little chain pouches and stuff like that. You would have to look up on YouTube how to sew with metal zippers, and there are loads of videos because I've looked myself to how to use them. I like the fact that I'm just trying to put the flat part on the bottom. I like the fact that I can use a 14-inch zipper and trim it down to a 12-inch pouch, or I could make a 14-inch pouch if I wanted to. So there's my zipper, right sides down, touching here. More threads. And then I'm going to take my lining, and I like to use the one without the label, only because when you open up the zipper pouch and you look in, you're going to see the label all the time. So maybe someone will be like, oh yeah, Robin makes good pouches, let me order another one. Oh, Stay Flow is discontinued. heard that they weren't doing that. You need zipper help? I have tons of zipper videos, some of them that I go really slow. You know, the ones where I do the beginner stuff and I talk way too much and everyone complains? I have a few of those, especially my coin pouches. There's one that's like, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes long. That one is very popular and a lot of the beginners really enjoy it. So I'm lining up my lining on all four sides for this one so that I can go ahead and clip it on the top. And then after I put this on, I usually add more clips, making sure all three pieces stay lined up at the top. That is the most important. Anything that gets a little wonky can always get trimmed later. I looked right at it and spun it right around. Look at that. Oh, we have a Trader Joe's here too. You know, I went to Trader Joe's, totally random. I know we're back on groceries. And I thought it was a much bigger store. I'm not sure if I ever went to the one in Florida, but I didn't realize how small it was. In my opinion, if you're struggling with zippers, the more, I'm putting on way too many for me, but I just want to show you that the more clips and pins, the better to hold it into place. Some people use double-sided tape or some Elmer school glue, and they run that glue or the tape down here, and it holds it in place for them. Now, if you're struggling with doing 3 layers, you can do the zipper and just sew it to the front. And then come back and put the lining on and sew that to those 2 pieces. And then you're not dealing with 3 wobbly ones. You can use decorative thread stitches. For this one right here, on this one, like if you've already made this and you wanted more stitching on it, after you did the Quilt As You Go, you can go back through and put any kind of stitching you want on top of it. So if you want to add some decorative ones here and everything, you can go ahead and go crazy. You can do some hand embroidery, put some patches on it. You can do anything you want. Sew buttons on, a whole bunch. You made a coal pouch and the zipper ended up opening. Yeah. Right-hand people put the zipper on the left-hand side. Left-hand people put the zipper on the right-hand side because of the way you do it. But now it's on the left. Now it's on the right. If you intend this to be the front, it's nicer to have the zipper going that way because most people expect it. But at least the pouch still works, right, Cheryl? Okay, now with the decorative stitches on this part right here, we need to just do our basic straight stitches. So if you were talking, Tina, if you were talking about here, you can go decorative stitch like crazy. Try every one on the machine, whatever makes you happy. I really love that snowman not being quilted in there. That was a very good decision, Robin. Sometimes I amaze myself, and sometimes I tell myself, Robin, why did you do that? You are crazy. Okay, zipper foot. I put it over here so I knew where it was. I have my little wooden small pineapple dish. I've been to Goodwill looking for more and I haven't found any. I take this zipper foot off, and I just say this for those of us that are like me. I put it right here, or I put it in a spot where I don't lose it, because when you have fabric and stuff everywhere, it's real easy to misplace it. So I'm going to put that right back there, and I'm going to know that, hey, that's where it is. And I'll put my zipper foot on. Come on. It's hard to hold. A lot of machines have different zipper feet, so if yours doesn't look like mine, some people can sew with their regular foot. Those people that have those machines with the 1/4-inch skinny foot, you don't even have to put a zipper foot on for that. It's a pouch for left-handers, that's it. Rob and I, we were both born left-handed, but our parents switched us over because, you know, it's the devil if you're left-handed, and they wanted everyone to be normal and stuff. Robbie was born left-handed also, and he's still left-handed, so he doesn't care either way. I like to sew from the teeth of the zipper up, so I flip mine over. I like to go down to a 2.0 stitch length. Some people sew, if you look at a zipper, let me see if I can get up closer to show you. I feel like it got darker in here. I showed this, I think, before. I can't remember if it's Patreon or YouTube. Oh, it's for the pillow. So you see that line right there? That's where the zipper company says, hey, that's like 1/4 of an inch from there. That's where you can sew. But I just line it up here and wherever it is. If some zippers, like bag zippers, are wider, so you don't even have to change to a zipper foot. Some the zipper edge, the fabric there is narrower. So it's not a one answer for everybody. You said, I heard you, Cheryl. I heard you. I heard you. Jackie's a little bit further from me, though, so you might have to yell a little louder for her. She's over in Phoenix. We haven't seen the pretty parts of Phoenix yet. I've only been to the airport and down Grand. Is that 60? I drive 60 down, well, speed limit is 45, but it's State Road 60 or whatever it is. I drive that, so I really haven't seen the pretty parts of Phoenix yet. So I like to put my finger down just in front of it to hold it a little bit, and it keeps holding it in place if you have pins or the clips or whatever, and then I just kind of hold down. You don't want to stop it from moving, of course, but I just try to keep it lined up so that I can pull a few out. So I've gotten to where I don't need to have all of those now, but I've made probably 300 or 400 zipper pouches at this point. So if your zipper was shorter, at this point your zipper pull would be in the way. You would have to lift it up, take your zipper pull and slide it past. And sometimes, have you seen those zipper pouches that have a zipper with like a hump in it? That's what happens a lot of times when your zipper is just the right size. When you go to move this out of the way, sometimes you end up with a little bit of a hump. Jackie says that like I've learned that yet. Bullhead. I think you're north of me, Cheryl. Get on the 303 and head north. You will. Yeah. See, my daughter and I, once she's home for a bit, probably in the spring, if either before her store opens or after things settle a little and she goes on vacation, we're going to do some exploring. And I sew past my pouch. Now, sometimes I will go ahead and I will do the top stitching right here. But lately I've been waiting and I do the other side of the zipper. But I will take this to the iron. And since it's nylon, you know, it doesn't get hot from the iron, so that's nice. You don't want to leave your iron on it for too long, but I do like to get a nice crease here. And especially with all this quilting, I do like to get a nice crease there. If you're going to stitch right now, you can use fun stitches again, like Tina likes. You can do your fancy stitches, or you can just, I'm just going to do Tempe near Mill Avenue, US 60. I think I know where that is. I know where 60 is. I know where 60 is, because 60 just goes all the way over. And I know where the 303 is. I'm going over to the 303 on Monday, because that's where Sam's Club is and the new Prasada Mall, I think is what it's called. And that's where they've got Hobby Lobby, and there's Five Below, and Marshall's, and Ross, and the new Sprout is over there. There's a Walmart and a Dollar Tree. I'm going to see how many places I can get to after I do. My priority is, well, I need to get a flu shot too. I'm thinking about doing that on my way home since CVS is just up the road. So my priority is the internet, a haircut, and then I will hit as many stores as my body will allow me to do. And then I will come home and assess the situation. I think I'm going to do my Whip It Wednesday video tomorrow, so I don't have to worry about it on Monday. Bye, Terry. Happy Thanksgiving, because we won't be back before Thanksgiving. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing again, and this time we're going to line it up at the top of the zipper, but we're in the sides, and we're not going to worry about the bottom, because nothing's going to match. So I have to put right sides together. right side of my pouch, right side of my back. This doesn't have an exact, direction one way or the other because the lights are on the top and the bottom. But sometimes when you look at a non-directional fabric, you can still see that if you want more lights going down, you put it a certain way, however it works for you. So I will line that up. I'm going to line it up on the side and at the top. I like to just clip this one on, and I'll put this clip on, line it up on the side and up at the top. If anything gets wonky in the process, we can trim it up later. And then I'll put the center one in. And that's it for now. I'll do more later. Flip it over because I need to put the right sides together. Here's my label, that's at the top. So the lining, right sides together. Line it up at the top and the side. Add my clip. Again, you can do this in 2 steps. I've seen a lot of fancy bag makers who do it in 2 steps. And then I just put a clip in between because right now I'm usually pretty good. Murphy's Law, of course, when you say you're okay, then everything goes crazy. So line up all 3 pieces, and that should be okay for me for now. Again, I like to sew from the top. My zipper tab, pull, whatever, is way over there. It's a zipper pull, it's a different word, is way over there, so I don't have to worry about it. It's out of my way, and that's the benefit of using the bigger zippers. I could not sew a zipper pouch to save my life until I started using longer zippers. Green thread and make snowflake stitching in the plain squares. That sounds like fun. Yeah, I think that's great because I've had some people who wanted me to make a video for every single pouch ever made in the world. But the thing is I just give you the knowledge of this, and then you're not using the same fabrics as I am. If we're doing a kit, that's one thing. But you can do whatever you want. Make it any size you want. As you start making more projects, more, what size quilt you want for the couch, what size pillows you like. Zipper pouches can be used for so many different things. Maybe you're making it, this is where I like to hold it a lot. Maybe you're making it to fit a Kindle sleeve, the new Kindle, an old Kindle. Maybe you want to put a Bible in it. Maybe you want to put makeup, pens and pencils, Pokemon cards, Matchbox cars, anything you want. You wish you could see all of the finished projects. I do a Whip It Wednesday every Wednesday and show you all the projects that I work on so that you can see them there. And we're going to keep going. I mean, it's been 2 hours, but we've made it this far. We'll just keep going. Oh, you mean the projects everyone else makes? I do have a Facebook group that no one really uses or anything like that. I do monthly, if people send their projects to me to my email down below, then it's like a show and tell with Robin or something like that. Then I do a video and show everyone's projects. We're working, I can only learn so many things at once. I have to do certain things, but I'm working on it. I'm going to press them both over now so everyone's nice and even on both sides, and then I'll come back and top stitch. I will be top stitching with white on both of them, but at least I have the white lines of the light strings, so it'll be okay. Otherwise, you can do black on this one and whatever color you want on that one. So I'm trying to figure out, you can tag people, you can put things on Instagram. Though Instagram is doing it now that you can't follow hashtags. That's something they've been threatening us with, and now it's started. We don't really know what is happening. Oh, that was a cat. I'm like, someone made a noise. We don't really know what's going on with it, but as long as hashtags still work, you can do like RsIslandCrafts, then anyone can look it up and look at projects that aren't mine. But I haven't done a show and tell, I don't think, in November, because I only have a couple projects, so I don't have too much to show and tell. All right. So what I'm going to do with my zipper foot, let me check up on here. I'm old. I like being old now. Yeah, you can put projects on Facebook. Like I said, no one really uses it much, but it's there. I've been debating. I thought about closing it down again, but it doesn't hurt to be left open. You do have to ask to join. It's a private group because I closed it down for a while. And then when you reopen a group, Facebook makes you keep it private. I just want to make sure no red fuzzies. Everything's nice and flat. You can put pins to keep it away, but I find that if I give it a good press, it stays away. Now, I'm going to top stitch to hold the lining down so when you open the zipper up, the lining doesn't pop up. Plus, I like the look of it. A lot of people don't do it. Some people do it only through the zipper and the outer and not the lining, but I don't know. I didn't see any benefits from it, and I prefer this look. So somewhere between the edge of the zipper and the edge of my fabric, I'm going to top stitch. I like to put my foot down, and in the zipper part, I hold my thread, drop my needle, and I bring the bobbin foot to the top. Otherwise, it always makes a mess on the lining part that you can see. Back stitch to lock it in place. I do a little bit of outward pressure as I'm sewing, and I do the best I can to sew all the way through. For me, I do better if I don't stop. And here we go. You can always change the speed on your machine. I never lift up both hands at the same time. I have my palm putting pressure, but you don't want to fight your machine. So when I say, you know, like hold it down, I'm not forceful. The machine still has to be able to pull it through. So to keep the mess from the threads, let me trim this end here. Hi, Becky. How are you doing? I am doing good. I feel much better than I did earlier today. My brain is only slightly frazzled. So I lift my needle and my foot and I slide over and then I do this side. And that's why I used to do one and then the other, and now I just do it all in one shot. The white is going to stick out. I could change it to black. I'm not going to. I'm going to be wild and crazy. And when you see it, you'll know in the future whether it's something you like or not. You can always look at my projects and decide if it's something you like or don't like. So the white does show up on there. Sometimes I think, and you guys have told me many times, that I'm going to cut this thread here, the bobbin. This is where I just moved over and on top. Many times it's just us thinking our project has issues. Really, nobody else notices. And if you go to a Walmart, Dollar Tree, wherever, Target, and you look at their pouches and bags, look at their clothes and stuff, how many times have we gotten clothing where the seam is already coming undone and we have to resew it and stuff? So we think we're just horrible, horrible people and we can't sew for the life of us. But if you look at other things at the store that we're paying good money for, it looks worse than ours. A little bit of practice and things are generally going to get better. So I'm going to take my foot off. I'm going to put this foot back on. We're going to sew the pouch up. Sorry for keeping you guys for a while. If something happens, that means the battery on my phone died. I can't see it. We should be fine. My apologies. So take the zipper. You want to always make sure, Tina, that you put your zipper in the center, because if you put it out here, when we sew this edge, the zipper pull is going to be on the outside of our zipper pouch. I'm not going to tell you how many times I did that. Oh, look, it's not too bad over here where that little bit is. Like, you really can't even, I surprised, I said, oh, look, because I'm surprised when I see that we did that, because it just looks like one piece of fabric. I like it. Okay, zipper to the center. I'm going to match the right sides together. This confused me so much when I was reading it in a book and I couldn't figure it out. So we have the outer and the outer, and the lining and the lining. I like to put my zipper so that when you fold it in half, the bulk goes into the lining. That seems to be a very popular decision. Just going to line everything up, and I'm going to put some clips in it. You're an accomplished overthinker? 1000%. I put one there to hold that. If you work this and you have extra here, that's okay. You can trim it off after you sew it. So just put a few. There we go. Then I come to this side, and this is the one that's not sewn together. You could, before you turn everything, you could put some stitching on there. I used to. I don't bother anymore. I will line everything up because, of course, you want it to be nice and even. You have a degree in it, huh? I used to sew clothes for people, and some of my clients still tell me that they miss me because yeah, they're well sewn because you take care and sew everything. And I'm not saying that, you know, horrible things about stuff, but companies that produce thousands and millions and however many clothes that they do on machines, and I bet you a lot of it's done on computerized machines now where there's no person there. I don't know how long, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't had a inspected by 34 sticker in my pocket of my pants or stuck in my shirt in years. So I lined up the corner. I know my lining is even, so I line it up and put a clip here. Clip away, pin away. I use a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Just frog 3 rows because I didn't like one stitch. Oh, yeah, that's it. I used to frog, oh, my husband would be like, what did you just do? I'm like, I almost have like, you know, 12 inches in a blanket or almost an entire scarf. When I first started knitting, I didn't know how to like fix a drop stitch or something. So if I noticed something 12 rows back, I would pull them all out. And then I learned how to drop down. Oh, look at that. I got to fold that back over. I learned how to drop down and fix stitches and stuff for socks and everything. So I do that. But certain things like with crochet and stuff, you can't just like drop down like in knitting and fix stuff. Well, if you get them from China or India, they are sewn by kids most of the time. Probably. All right, hydrate. Oh, chapstick. Too much talking. Can't be helped. You guys would be so proud of me. I don't even care when I got new comments recently. And some people, they leave a comment on the video, and I guess they're thinking that it's a big channel, so someone else must be editing the videos. And they're like, this lady talks too much. I'm like, this lady is me. Hello, it's me, you know, and I don't talk too much. I don't get too snarky with them. Every now and then I'll still say, you know, this channel is mainly for beginners and to give extra tips and tricks for experienced people. You can't do how to sew a zipper pouch in 5 minutes and allow it to be something for a beginner to understand. It can't happen. There was too many times when I was a beginner and I'm like, huh? Do that again, do that again. Plus some of my older videos, I did have blank, dead space and I rambled a bit more. I'm better, I'm better. Oh, you know what? I love when I put you guys to sleep. Some people used to say that they would put my channel on because my voice is just kind of calming and level, and they would just listen to me ramble on and fall asleep to my videos. My daughter does it every now and then too. So I hope you enjoyed your nap. You can catch up on the replay. We just been rambling. Do you keep your scraps by just color? Right now, yes. I do have a bin for novelty, and then I have Christmas and Halloween and fall, and then I have one for all the holidays. I have a bin for stripes and polka dots and plaids. But I have all rainbow colors. I keep my scraps by that. I like to sew 3/8 all the way around, but I go a little bit of a wider seam allowance on the bottom so that it's not a baggy lining on the inside. So I take some of that extra space up. I appreciate that, Giovanna. You can't change who you are, right? You're not going to be what everyone needs. You're just going to have to do the best you can. So I leave a little bit, 3/8. My needle's in the center. The side of my foot is 3/8. So I leave 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch of fabric on the outside of it. I leave a turning gap. The bigger the pouch, the bigger the turning gap. I can't say I do 3 inches all the time because a coin pouch you do less. So this one, I like to leave a good chunk on either side. I'm not boxing the corners, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'll just start here and I'll backstitch. And okay, you guys know I'm a rebel. You're supposed to stitch to the corner and turn. They say if you stitch all the way off and start and stitch all the way off, those threads can come unwound. So I just backstitch because I find it's easier to turn it around and poke the corners out when I stitch all the way off instead of just going like this, because this becomes like a weak point right there. It's only one stitch in a corner or one on each side. So I just do this. So I'm going to go all the way off the edge. And then when I come on, I want to have up at the zipper part for about 2 inches down from the zipper, I want it to be a 3/8 inch seam allowance. But to keep it from being too baggy, the lining inside, I make my seam allowance a bit bigger on the sides. So I have, I think it's 1/4 of an inch. Let me have a ruler. It's 3/8 of an inch from the side of my presser foot, and then I add in an extra, yes, 1/4 of an inch. So that's 5/8 of an inch on the seam allowance. But as I'm sewing, I'm going to sew straight, and when I get to about 3 inches or 4 inches or whatever this is, I'll slide it over so that the edge of my foot is on the edge of my lining. And that just keeps that lining from being all wrinkly and a mess. But you have to have the same seam allowance for like the zipper. Whatever this outside pouch seam allowance is, you need to have that about 1 inch or 2 from the zipper. Because if you cut it in this way, it's going to sit in the bag really weird. Yeah, I like to have mine by, because I sew by color, Jackie, I like to sort my scraps by color. And that works for me. I'm not as you saw with my Christmas scraps, they weren't 2.5, 1.5, 5-inch squares. I did that. It didn't work for me. So when I get to my stitching line, I'll back stitch over it. So there, zipper pouch police, you can't yell at me. And then as I'm going, I'll just slowly diagonal over. Some people cut their pouches on a diagonal for the lining. I just kind of stitch. And then when I get, this is a nylon zipper, so I can stitch over it. So I'm going to slow down, I'm going to stitch over it, and I'm going to back stitch, I'm going to stitch over it. Okay, life's good. And then I'll just stitch the same seam allowance, 3/8 of an inch, 2.0 stitch length. I'll stitch all the way off. And when I do this one, I feel like it secures it, right? I back stitched over. So this line is back stitched and I cover it over that one, crossed it. If you have any extra, if the other bottom part of this pouch is longer, line it up with just this one and then you can trim it off or trim it before you sew. When you first start, or at least when I first started making them and when a lot of people first started making them, it is, mine were always wonky. I'm sorry, I was trying to read comments. Mine were always wonky. I never lined up perfectly. Everything was always off. So you just kind of trim it again if you have to and get it all to line up. And remember, if the first 17 you make aren't good, you just made 17 zipper pouches for you. So use fabric you like. Most of the time, Jackie's are color in bags, invest in some small tubs for them so they can go onto the shelves. Yeah, I'm really loving these shelves, these bins from Walmart and from Target. I just need to, my cats have only known in their whole entire lives of jumping on Rubbermaid tubs as stairs to get to a window. So they love to sit by the door and look out the door, so they're higher than my daughter's cats when the door is open. So I have to go around their plastic bins. So I just need to figure out how to rearrange my room to work out for them so that they can have their tubs, and I can also easily get to my bookcases because it's not working for me right now. I trip over stuff. Hi, Sherry from Texas. A 5-thread. Yeah, to get that one straight line and then the overcast. Yeah, I don't mind doing the first seam for like pillows on my sewing machine and then just serging it afterwards. For me, I feel like pillows on the inside, I feel better if I overcast or serge it. Pillows, quilted pillow covers, pillow cases and stuff like that, I like to overcast it, but I feel like a serger would just be faster, because my sewing machine is super fast, but when you have to overcast, it's slow. I feel like it would just be like, psh. Yeah, well, I don't have family to gift things to. I can make the most. I've tested things with my family. I've given them a handmade thing, and they've just tore it apart, said how horrible it is, right? So the next year, I bought them a zipper pouch, we'll just say, from Walmart, and I said, oh, I made this for you. And they just said how horrible it was, and they tore it apart and said terrible things. So year 3, I made them a pouch and say, hey, I bought this at Walmart. They're like, oh, it's the greatest thing. Look how perfect it is. I'm like, no, I got you guys. Next year, you're getting a gift card. Nuh-uh, you don't deserve anything handmade. Not all family is good to gift things to. I would give them to, my kids and stuff would like them to organize things. The zipper pouches are great to throw into a tote bag and stuff. You can't find your car. Oh, no. Jody, that's terrible. That's why you're supposed to take a picture. You could French seam them. I've done that. But you know what? French seams and I don't seem to get along. Now, this one's a little bit bumpier because the zipper is got the zipper teeth connected. So I just go a little slow, and sometimes you have to hand crank over them. Just if it works out great and your machine doesn't yell at you. Oh, beautiful. All right, back stitch. Let's see. Okay, now there is this thing called a Genama-jig that you can put underneath here. And when you do that, it keeps your sewing machine foot nice and level. But this is all over the place. I guess people just didn't know this. If you lift up your presser foot and you press you have this little black button with a spring. If you press that in, it'll lock in. And then you put your foot down. It automatically will level your foot for you. Yeah, I opened the zipper. It's right here. You weren't looking. Thanks, Jill. Oh, set off the alarm. That might work too. So that by pushing that button in, it's gonna lock your foot into that level position, and when it goes over it, and then it just popped out, and it should be okay. So get past a couple of inches. Now I'm lined up on the side. This time I'm gonna veer in just a little bit here. If you forgot to do it, just do it on one side. It still kind of works out. Sometimes you just make it a little bit larger. I don't make it the same all the time. I just kind of guess. And there we go. And now here, I just eyeball it. If you paid attention by how much fabric was there, you can do it. Back stitch again. I like to leave a hand. Some people put marks on it, some people put pins. You know what? When I'm sewing, if I'm not going to pay attention, I'm not going to pay attention to clips or pins or little marks on it or anything like that. I'm just not going to. I can ignore everything. Now, I had a kind subscriber send me these Kai scissors. These suckers are sharp, sharp, sharp. I'm going to cut right through my zippers here. You can use a rotary cutter if you want. Some people are scared to do it. They don't want to dull their scissors. But these guys can be sharpened. They last a very long time. I think they might even have a lifetime warranty. They're made in Japan, and they can handle cutting. I've been cutting through zippers for several years now, and they're still sharp as can be. Just toss that away. Make sure your zipper tab, if you forgot to open up your zipper, you're like, oh no, the zipper's right here. Don't cut it. Take out these threads, take your finger or tweezers or whatever you have and push the zipper pull back into there, restitch it, and then cut it off. So even if you messed up, now if you messed up in your zipper pull and you cut off your zipper tab, well, you know what? There's not much hope for you. You just, pouch is going to have to be smaller. You're going to have to seam rip and everything, and it's going to be crazy. Bye, Jill. Enjoy supper. Oh, supper pouches. I love supper pouches. Oh, zipper pouches. Never mind. Sorry. I have a whole playlist with zipper pouches. I do them a lot on the lives, but I have standalone videos also. Oh no, Jody. Oh no. Now here I'm going to trim off the corner. I don't trim right down because it makes me nervous. Hold on. My cats eat down here. I don't want to have too much of this junk here. Excuse me. Clean this up. It's getting stuck to my pouch. Excuse me for reaching in front of you. Oh, my cat's food is going to get stuff in it too. Put you over there. Ta-da. Okay. So I'm going to trim the corner off. I like to leave a couple stitches attached. Sometimes it's nice to trim the corner off the corner cuts there. You can make this a little bit narrower. I don't do 1/4 inch seams because if the fabric is a little off on the front and the back, like right here, it's not perfectly lined up. Sorry, this is the people who own this house. It's a rental company, and they put the plastic fake wood floors laminate down right on top of the tile or whatever's down there. So when I bounce and I walk near the tripod, it bounces. Anyway, so if I did a 1/4 inch seam, I might have missed something, you know, so if it's not even all the way around, I would rather do a 3/8 inch seam and trim it down if I needed to. I don't bother trimming them. They're fine. Now here, I will trim this corner. And I like to trim some of that bulk off the bottom because remember I did more like a 5/8 inch. But I never trim the opening because I want to turn that under, and it's just so much easier if you have that extra fabric. So trim the corner, trim the corner. I do like to have my, if it's a white lining, I do not like to use a different color thread, just because it'll show through. It's shadows. I have a big seam here, so I'm going to trim that down also. And my seams tend to get wonky and wobbly and choppy like a monster ate it. It's a seam. It's fine. Okay, I was wondering, because I like to make those supper pouches where you take tin foil or you take like parchment paper and you put all your food in it and you season it. And I like to put I like to take my broth and extra broth or homemade and freeze it in ice cube trays. So I put a couple of ice cubes of broth in there with like potatoes and chicken, a little bit of butter sometimes, usually not. And then I put spices in it, wrap it all up and throw it in the oven, and you got dinner in a pouch. That's why I was like supper, because we called it supper in Connecticut. We didn't eat dinner or tea. We ate supper. There we go. Hardest part's, well, the rest is fiddly, but it's not hard. Okay, so my zipper. Let's have a little talk about zippers. This is a big pouch. My zipper is right here. So I can try to pull campfire meals, yes. Do you use the bulk seam option on Steel Lover? There's a bulk seam option on my Juki. I just pressed a button. Does this Juki have a bulk seam option? Ooh, I don't know. The answer would be no, because I don't know about it. The zipper's right here. Can I pull this pouch through here? Sure, but why should I struggle when I can put my hand in here, grab the head of the zipper pull, and open it all the way up? Now I have all of this space. I can grab this corner and pull it through my opening. The opening's big enough for my hand, so I don't have to struggle. And I'm not making extra wrinkles in my pouch or anything. This is all quilting cotton, so it's fine with batting. But I have the whole area is just open now for me to turn it, and I didn't have to struggle through the little thing. If you didn't open your zipper up all the way and it was way over here, same thing. See what you can get in there, your finger, or if you can get a, hemostat or tweezers or something just to get in there and zip that zipper open and you'll be all set. So we leave the lining on one side. It makes no sense because the lining is going to get turned, but I do like to bring these corners out. I never understood why people do it, but I do it so I can take this over to the iron and I can press this spot right here. Doesn't matter if you do it now or later. I like to give it a nice press, and it's easier if the corners, I don't press the corners because the corners are going to get poked the other way, right? So before I close that up though, I'm going to put my hand in here and I'm going to push out the corners with one of my fingers the best I can, and then I'm going to find my crochet hook. There are turning tools and all of that. I like this is a K crochet hook. It's not pointed, so it doesn't usually break through the seams. Jody still hasn't found it? Oh, you found it. Now, oh, it's raining. Oh no. Oh yeah. My car, I have a crossover. It's basically a minivan. It's a crossover between a minivan and an SUV. I love it because it's nice and high, but the vehicles here are so huge I can't even find it, and mine's red. It's bright. So I just poke that out the best I can. I don't want to poke through the fabric. And if that doesn't work, then I also have, this is from Flamingo Toes. It's got a little turner here, so I can pop that in. And you know what? I've just resigned myself to know that if I'm going to do quilted stuff like this, that the corners aren't going to be perfect. They're going to be a little rounded. Again, most people won't notice. So now I have this weird bent part for my zipper. This part's easy because, oh look, okay, that's it, throw away the pouch. It's not even. Look, I didn't line it up perfectly. Oh no, but guess what? It's gonna go in a little dent. People don't like a big dent, so what I do is I have my finger on the zipper, and I put my thumb on the outside or my middle finger, and I gently push it up. You don't want to push it too hard, and open the zipper all the way. So then I give it a nice little test. Tuck this side in just a little bit. See, now it's going to line up enough and no one's going to notice. And there, look, see? Pretty, pretty. But before I do all of that, I like to leave this out, the lining. I like to make sure the back is on the back and the front's on the front and give it a good steamy press. It just makes it look a little bit nicer in my opinion. Have we heard from Tina yet? How are you doing, Tina? I have a feeling she might be putting the zipper in. She's quiet now. Did we lose you? I might have to buy some black batting just to balance it out, because no matter what you do, the white batting tends to come up through the stitches with black fabric. It's not a big deal, but it just makes the back of the pouch fuzzy. Turn your heat on, Joni. Yes, turn your heat on. Then go home and take a nice hot shower. I used to keep an antenna ball on my car. Yeah. My antenna is only like this big and it broke off in a hurricane too. You should have a little umbrella in your bag. Okay, so look. See, a nice little press. I love this pouch. I've been finding that I can love the pouch and not want to keep it still. I love the pouch. I would love to have it, but I'm not going to use it for anything, so I don't have to hoard it, so I can let it go. Now up here, we're going to close off that hole. Now that everything, we know it's good, our zipper's in a good spot. Everything's looking nice. I don't have a zipper. I made the front so far, and I found a solid piece for the back. So you're on hold. Okay, good, good, good. Then you didn't get lost as long as you're still doing good. It's the third button under the OK button. It allows the pressure foot to go over bulkier things. Oh, gotcha. I see that. You know what? I don't use any of those buttons over there. I should pull out my manual more. I'm going to press it. What's it going to do? Does that foot have to be down? Do I have to hit something first? Needle down. Huh. All right, I have to read the manual. Okay. So 2.0 stitch length still. I'm going to top stitch, meaning it's less than 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, I like when I go shopping, I put a far away, I like park at the end of the parking lot at like Walmart and stuff, even if I have to walk a little bit. And I always try to park in the same area so that I can just go to that one space. Because you come out of Walmart and did I park at the, it's a supermarket, super Walmart. So am I at the grocery side or did I park at the clothing side? I don't know where my car is. You're in a sweatshirt and a puffer vest, no hat. Uh-oh. All right, so that's all. I'm going to start a little bit on the outside of each opening. For me, there's usually threads from where I started, so I'll just trim that off. I don't want a bird's nest underneath, so I put my finger in the hole, figure out where it is, because I pressed it nicely. Hold my thread, needle down, and I bring my bobbin to the top. Sometimes it's a little tight because of the whatever, the tension wheel. Make sure where it starts and where it ends. Line up the front and the back so that they're together. They usually are, sometimes they move. Back stitch. You can hand stitch it closed, of course. Some people just put double-sided tape, but even when I'm making 25, 40, 50 pouches, I made 50 pouches once, that was crazy. I still like to take the time to stitch it because, I don't know, that fusible, maybe it's not permanent. Maybe it won't last forever. Then people will lose things in between the lining and the outside. All right, so this took us, we didn't start until after 11:30, so it took us like 2 hours, but in general, I can make a simple pouch in 15 minutes. One like this usually does take me, I don't know, half hour, hour. I've never really paid too much attention, but we talked a lot. So I put this back in. Snowflakes on a solid piece. It looks awesome. Nice. I'm just putting my corners down. Now look, because I made my pouch, I sewed it up a little smaller. See how it's nice and smooth in there? It's not all loosey-goosey, because sometimes them pouches can look like that, right? So that's one of the things you need to learn. There's some other tricks that I have a couple secrets that I like to, not share. You guys can figure them out on your own like I had to. I mean, it's kind of rude to say that, and I shouldn't even say that I have them, but there are extra tips and tricks to learn how to do things. But this is the basic one, and now we're going to go ahead and thank you. We're going to see, I have a little bit of a dent there, and I have a little bit of a dent there, but some people, when you make them for your first time, you can get like this crazy weird dent like that. And that just means even after you make it, you can just put your finger in there and pop it up a little bit. Just not too hard because you don't want to see your stitching. And that's another reason why we double stitch over there. Make sure you got to tuck everything, get your corners in your corners. We're going to have to lint roll that, give it another good steamy press. And now we're going to put tassels on. Some people wanted to see tassels, so we'll go ahead and put tassels on. I just have to get my center. I have everything over here. It's hiding in the corner. So my tassel can, oh my goodness, hold on. Okay. This is a photo, oh, I think they're on sale right now too, Michael's. This is a photo storage box. This is where I keep my accoutrements. Thank you, everyone. These are 3x6, and they're meant to put photos in, so you can organize your photos. They have them in rainbow colors, and this, I have one that I keep embroidery floss, the whole skein in, because I don't put mine on the little cardboard thing and spools anymore. So in here, I had to mix and combine a couple things, because I didn't have space for everything. I ran out of, I got something else. Oh, I got more of the snaps in, so they had to have another container. Oh, I have charms. This is not what I wanted. I know I don't have Christmas charms, so that's going to go there. So here is, I have jewelry tools. I bought one of these kits at Walmart a long time ago. It had that like plasticky thing where you can lay all the beads in to make a necklace, so you can just run your wire through it. And it came with all of these. So I use 2 of the needle nosy pliers. I have silver 6mm by 0.8mm jump rings. I bought a container of 1,000 of them a very long time ago. I think jump rings can be any size you want, totally up to you. Now, read and watched the video yesterday about how to make tassels. Me too. Giovanna, have you seen the one? I see it on Instagram a lot, where you take a spool of thread with a razor blade and you slice it and you put it between 2 pieces of fabric and you do this magic and it becomes a tassel. So cool. Hi. Oh, I hope it's Piccola Chase. Piccola. I am going to pick, I have my tassels sorted by color groups. I have like the browns and the earth tones and the greens and the purples or whatever. The reds in these tassels are, they're not very bright reds. So I have a red. I can be crazy, and now the greens, they're not what I call Crayola. They're like olives and stuff like that. So like I can put a bright green on there. I think the green might be fun to pull out those greens. So I'm going to do that. So I'll put this one back. I just bought a new batch of these. You get, I don't know why they do this, but you get a little 6-pack of whites. Like whatever. I think at some point I might like to buy like 100 reds, 100 purples, 100 greens, but only if I can get like Crayola colors. And then this is what you get in browns and grays. And you get like 3 blacks. So you don't get very much. Okay. Yeah, I like the green one too. Oh, blue to match the snowman? Oh, who said that? Cheryl, blue to match the snowman. Let's look at the blues. Blue to match a snowman? Oh, here's this blue. That blue's better, maybe. What do you think? I still kind of think the green. Sorry, Cheryl. I'm vetoing you. And anyone else who agrees with Cheryl, sorry. That's what I do, though. I don't know color matching and stuff. I just lay it down. I'm like, what looks good? The green kind of pops a lot on here. I keep seeing this green, so that's why I'm thinking when I open the zipper it'll be there, and when I close it it's kind of like contrasting against. Now with jump rings you never go like this, you always go like this. So I hold one. Yeah, you guys can see. And I grab the other, and I just take one, and for me, I bring it to me, so I have it open. I put my tassel on. You can put ribbon on. I don't have, when you buy bag making zippers, this hole up here is bigger, so you can put fabric and yarns and whatnots. I just put it in there. I like that it gives you something to hold on to, because the zipper pull is small, so you need something to hold on to. I go past the jump ring and then I bring them back together. That's just something I learned from the jewelry makers, because you know I watch everything. And then if it's still a little bit separated, you can just come in and give it a little squeeze together, just to make sure they line up. They usually do, but sometimes they don't. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. That is shop ready. I don't know. As I said, I'm going to go out on Monday. And then if I come home at a decent time, I'll try to spend the rest of the day doing photographs, because my brain will be too mushy to like sew or anything like that. So I'll try to get everything that's already finished and photographed. But if anyone who's watching this wants to claim it, you know, give everyone, you can claim it right away, or you can give other people the opportunity. I don't know, whatever you want to do. There's no you know, fair. If someone else wants one, I can make a similar one. I still have enough, I have yardage on a snowman fabric, so I can still put a snowman in the center. I don't do, Robin, I want this, but if you say, hey, I kind of like it the way that is, I can kind of make it the way that is. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. This was a long one today, but we got it done. And see, with the lining and stuff, it's pretty flat. I can feel, you could take your iron and put it in here and iron it. I usually do that before I take pictures and stuff. Do the lint roller. Just the cotton batting in there will hold that lining. So if you just kind of go like this on the inside and pet it, it works out really nice. Thank you, everyone. So there you go. You know how I like to use the word irks me when I can feel. There we go. It's harder to do that with the coin pouches. Most of my coin pouches, you can kind of feel it just because it's only like 4 by 5. You're very welcome. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this. It's kind of a little bit, I feel it's like a surprise to have the black fabric on the back, but it has the Christmas lights on it, and I think that's just kind of fun. Most of the time, you're going to see it like that. So this is a big one. Let's see what this finishes at before we walk away. Again, you can make it any size you want. The larger it is, the more fabric, you know, choices you have. I feel like you can put a book in here. You could put a little notepad and pens and stuff. So this finishes at 11 inches wide and about 7.5 inches tall. Well, yeah, about 7.5 inches tall. So I think that's pretty big. Mine are usually like 8.5 by 5 or something like that. Well, thank you for hanging out with me, Laura. So if I don't hear from anyone or I don't see anyone, I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. We do have a couple more live streams. I need to start editing. I started organizing my Advent videos, so I'll get editing them and get them up. I do have a few ideas coming up for December, but I got to figure out the whole Patreon thing because that's probably where we'll hang out. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And good wishes to everyone who's having any kind of struggles right now. That's not an afterthought. I just think about you guys all the time. And if you're struggling, I hope you find a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of happy with my wackadoodle pouches. Bye.